Figure it out. Figure it out. You need to figure it out.
Figure it out, man.
Figure it out.
Figure it out.
Figure it out. All right? Figure it out. Just figure it out.
The love of God, figure it out.
And welcome to the FIO podcast. I am your host, Mason Kleist, and if you don't know what it is by now, you need to figure it out. I'm here with the legendary Nicholas Boys, former fantasy football champion, current 2-6 in fantasy this year. Struggling, at least in our league. I don't know how he's doing in the other league, but how we doing, Nick?
I'm good, man. How are you? It's good to catch up with you.
I know, we haven't talked in a minute, for real. Like, we talked before going live, but that was probably the first time in a while.
Yeah, I know. Busy schedules, huh?
Yeah,
it'll get you.
Yeah, you're busy with baseball. You know, I got this podcast sucking up my whole life. You know, it's not like I prepare 5 minutes before. You know, I put a lot of time and effort into this thing.
Yeah, I'm hearing hours and hours of preparation. That's what people are saying.
Writing it down as I'm recording the episode. You know, nothing but the best for my 20 fans.
Yep, and we love every single one of them.
All right, well, a little background on yourself. I know you're from Brisbane, Australia.
Yeah, from Brisbane, Australia. In my 5th year of college baseball right now at Concordia University in Nebraska. The 3rd college I've been to here in the United States. So I started off at Iowa Central Community College, spent 2 years there because it's a JUCO.
Yeah.
Yeah, shout out all the JUCO babies.
JUCO products, baby.
Yep. And then made my way to Kentucky at University of Columbus, where we met.
Oh, yeah.
And played there for a year, had some eligibility issues, and ended up redshirting, and then transferred out and ended up here at Concordia, where I am now, where I was last year. And now my 5th and final year, just hanging on to the dream. I know you know that life. You know that life.
Oh, yeah, I was a super senior once.
Yep, just clutching on and watching the freshmen get younger and younger every year.
Oh, my God. That's what I thought, too. My final year, just looking at them.
I know, just like talk to them, I feel out of touch. So, but yeah, I'm loving it, man. Out in the snowy Nebraska, it snowed yesterday here. It's freezing, so that's fun. Dude. But yeah, man, I'm living the dream.
I don't like snow. I don't know about you. I can't deal with it.
It sucks.
That's why I moved to Texas. I can't do it.
Yeah, I don't blame you. And every year it rolls around and it doesn't go away for freaking 5 months.
And I mean, I thought Kentucky was bad. I'm sure Nebraska is 100 times worse.
Oh yeah, big time.
See, the thing I hated about Kentucky, like the winters in Kentucky, I think overall Kentucky's beautiful. Like the whole South, Kentucky, Tennessee, it's beautiful in like the summer and the spring. Summer is probably too hot. Like spring is nice. Like when the leaves are coming back, it's like sunny and 75, nice little breeze. The mountains around you are full of trees and life and green. And then in the winter, though, it's just like no leaves on the trees. It's gray. It rains all the time. It's cloudy. You just want to kill yourself every day you're there.
Yeah, I remember that for sure.
And then having to go out to practice sucked.
I know. We were hitting inside the shed. We didn't have an indoor facility, so you're basically hitting outside in the cold with a beanie on and two sweatshirts, and just hoping you don't get fisted so you can feel your hands for the next round. That was fun.
Yeah, but at least hitters got to do a little bit more to keep themselves warm. I mean, pitchers, we'd just be out there shagging, and of course, coach would yell, "Get your hands out of your pockets!" You know, it's like what? Fingers are gonna freeze off. I don't know. It just was so depressing. I couldn't deal with that anymore, and now I'm in Texas, and it's beautiful. It's like sunny and 60 right now, and I keep rubbing it into my dad because he's like waiting for it to get cold in Florida, like chilly. He's like, "Oh God, there's no trick or treaters. It's 95 degrees outside." Like,
that's crazy.
Nobody. They're gonna just all the candy's melting. There's no point.
Yeah, seriously.
Happy Halloween, by the way, dude.
Yeah, you too.
This is the spookiest podcast.
I'm not a huge Halloween guy. I gotta be honest. I gotta throw that out there.
Me either. Like and correct me if I'm wrong. I think that people who have Halloween as like their favorite holiday, they're sketchy. They're sketchy people.
Yeah, I agree.
That's
they're kind of weird.
You got to watch out for that. And I really think that that just freaks me out. Like my neighbor, she was telling me that her favorite holiday is Halloween, and I literally told her that. I was like, "So you're a psychopath? Like, do you not enjoy Christmas? I don't get it."
Right, Christmas, Thanksgiving, yeah.
Oh my God, yeah, Thanksgiving. Just stuff your face, take a fat nap, and watch the Lions lose.
Football, yeah. Best day of the year.
Watch the Cowboys and Lions hopefully lose. That'd be nice. Just for the hell of it.
Halloween's not a big deal in Australia. It's kind of like this stigma that it's an American holiday. So growing up, I remember we just turned the porch light off and put a sign on the door that said "No trick-or-treaters," and that was that. But
people did dress up. It is like it's celebrated.
Some people, but not as much here. Not as much as here. No way.
Yeah, I mean, I loved it growing up.
My family was never into it. My family was never into it, so.
I loved it growing up. I was talking to my dad about this today, going down memory lane. Like, I remember dressing up and going out and like riding my bike with a bunch of my friends and just going around and getting candy and whatnot. And then I remember these big kids taking our candy.
Really?
We were like 11, I think, and these kids were like 15, and he took our candy. And I remember when I was a big kid, I saw these little kids, and I was like, you know what? I remember what it was like being that little, and I'm not going to take candy from this kid. But then my friend was like, we should totally take candy from these kids, and I succumbed to peer pressure immediately, and we did it.
You balanced out the universe pretty much.
That's what I'm saying. That's all I'm here to do.
It's like the circle of life, pretty much.
It's like Thanos, you just got to snap your fingers and,
Yeah. Do you remember a particular costume or something that was your favorite growing up? I'm trying to think if I had one that I remember.
I was a homeless man one year.
Oh, really? What did that entail as a costume?
I have no idea what I was thinking or who gave me the idea, but I wore like a dirty white shirt, like an orange beanie, and like I drew on a 5 o'clock shadow, and I had like an empty can of beans for change, probably. Just looked dirty. I just looked like a dirty person.
Yeah.
So
last year, me and two buddies just went as dads. So I wore
I remember that.
Shorts with a nice polo shirt tucked in and some nice thick white athletic shoes with the long white tube tops.
Like the New Balances.
Yeah, we rocked it.
I remember seeing that. That was perfect for you because you are kind of a dad. 100%.
Yeah.
You would rock a fanny pack.
Oh yeah, I think I was rocking it all night. That was it. Yeah, that was probably my favorite costume. Honestly, it was cheap too. It only cost like $10 to throw together.
Yeah, I do miss. I miss college for Halloween parties. I'd say because those are kind of fun. You get drunk and dressed up and go have fun with your friends.
For sure. And
whatnot. I think I'm trying to remember what it was for. Like, because for Cumberland's, what were you for the baseball when you were there? Do you remember what your Halloween was? What your costume was? I remember you were a greaser with Robbie.
Yeah, me, Robbie, Danny, and
Marcus, yeah.
We're greasers.
And that was fantasy football.
Yeah.
Nobody got it. I just dressed like a wizard and then put a football jersey over.
Oh, you're a wizard. Like, no, I'm fantasy football.
They're like, oh, are you Gandalf? I'm like, no, figure it out. I'm not.
Figure it out right there.
It is, and I remember Coach was like, he said the same thing. He was like, "Are you like some kind of football wizard? Is that what your thing is?" I'm like, no, that's not the thing. But you gonna graduate this year though? This May?
Yep, graduate in May with a degree in journalism and a minor in business. So,
dude, that's hype. That's your thing, man. That's your calling. I read your every single one of your articles, the baseball articles, although they were false, I don't know on what planet you said, are you setting it to 2-minute reads or 4-minute reads, but damn it took me like 10 minutes. Maybe it's because I'm just stupid. I don't know.
Yeah, I know. I use, I think it's called Medium.
Yep.
And yeah, they kind of, I don't know what kind of reading pace they're jumping off, but they just generate the minutes there, and that's what it runs with. But yeah, I thought they were a little long too, and saying like 3-minute, 4-minute reads.
Yeah, I'm like, these guys are speed readers reading this.
I appreciate everybody sticking with those because, yeah, they were a little long. I got to get back into the blog game. Just got to find some.
Did you have to do that for class, or what was that about?
No, I kind of just threw it together as something to do during the season and during the spring, and then it kind of just becomes a body of work that I can maybe show potential employers down the road and at least show them some kind of writing samples. So
yeah, that's like me with Williamsburg News.
Yeah.
Just like that, you know, except I don't want to do that for a career.
Yeah, but it's a sample of work you've done. So we'll see what happens with all that once I graduate. I might try to get into the coaching game, but
ooh,
we'll see. I got a little bit of time to figure it out. So
yeah, you got to figure it out, man. I could see you being a coach, 100%.
Yeah, I mean, I think a GA spot would be ideal somewhere if I can find a home.
What if Cumberland's wanted you to be a GA there? Would you do it?
Yeah, I'd go back there.
Yeah, even though
I really like Coach Shelton and all the guys I met there. We just maybe disagreed a little bit with our baseball ideologies, but as people, man, I loved everybody I met there. So I'd go back there in a heartbeat for sure.
Yeah, the culture there was great. You know, I mean, me and Coach Shelton never saw eye to eye as well. I mean, he says that he says that we argued, even though we never had an argument. But I mean, I respect the guy to this day. I think he's good at what he does. But yeah,
Absolutely.
obviously, in the case with you, we just had so much talent in the outfield. Like any one of those guys could be a starter. You know what I mean? It's just the fact that he'd leave guys in too long, like in the season. You know what I mean?
Just think that when I was there, man, those top fly guys like that we had, like they were so good they could just roll out of bed and and just rake, and that's how good they were. Whereas like that down of guys with me and some other guys, we just needed a little bit more to kind of push us to that next level. So, but the talent we had was unreal. Honestly, it's probably the most talented team I've been in my 5 years.
And what's crazy is every year they get better too. Like,
I know.
Last year they were better. They got farther, and they hosted another regional, which is crazy. I got to go to those games, so that was nice.
Yeah, we won our conference last year up here in Nebraska, and obviously we were in line for a regional. I was crossing my fingers that we were going to put in the Cumberland's bracket. That would have been sweet.
That would have been sweet.
Get back to the Berg, say what's up to everybody, but I think we ended up in Tennessee at Freed Hardman, so yeah, wasn't meant to be. Maybe this year, who knows? We'll see what happens.
Yeah, hopefully, man. I mean, that'd be crazy. I'd probably make the trip to Kentucky again if you guys played them in the playoffs.
Yeah, fingers crossed.
That'd be pretty nuts. But I mean, I guess we'll have to see. But you guys looking pretty good this year?
Yeah, we've got some good new recruits in, a lot of good freshmen.
Don't hold back. If you guys suck, just tell me.
No, we're good. We returned pretty much the whole pitching staff, and they were the best staff in the league last year. So that's always nice, and got most of our sticks back, and a few freshmen here and there, and yeah, we're shaping up for a good year. Just got to do it when it counts. That's what it comes down to. I
mean, that's what it was with Cumberland's too. We freaking dominate in the regular season. We just choke in the playoffs. That's. I mean, that seems to be the last few years the mantra there, the motto there. That's just how things go.
Yeah, I thought they were bound for the World Series last year, man. Just looking at the roster and
oh my God, yeah, they were so stacked.
The talent they had, and just wasn't quite meant to be. And
deep too, like right. I remember. It didn't matter who got hurt. It's like next guy up. Even when you were there, like didn't Rowdy get hurt? Next guy up. Guillermo comes in there, hits 2 home runs.
Yeah, Danny Diaz got hurt. Next man.
Reed Spada gets in there.
Yeah,
crazy. Reed just texted me today, first time we talked in a while, and he said, guess what one of my clients is, or something like that, or one of his friends' clients, and I said Kirk Cousins, and he goes, damn close, Stephon Diggs. I was like, damn, that's crazy.
That is crazy.
So, I mean, that's pretty cool. I was like, you should have got his autograph or something. But I knew it had to be something with the Vikings. He always trolled me with the Vikings because he had last year in fantasy. He'd have them, and he'd always ask me for advice whenever it's about anything Vikings related for fantasy. Like, okay, what do you think should I start him? I'm like, of course, I'm going to say yes. What do you mean? Like, I'm heavily biased here.
You gotta ride with your guys.
I tried with Britton. Britton asked me about the Redskins game. He had a parlay. And he said, all right, I'm about to put $60 on this parlay. And the Vikings are one of them. And I said, what is it? And he said, are they going to win by at least 14? And I said, that should be easy. Yeah, I mean, the Redskins suck. You know, Kirk's been on fire.
Yeah.
And they won by 10.
I know.
So he lost that parlay. And I mean, thinking about it now, I'm like, damn, short week, 4-day week. You know, easy win. Didn't really open up the playbook. Knew they were just going to run the ball. I should have said something different.
I know. Me and one of the guys I live with have got into the sports gambling world a little bit here, man. It's rough out there.
I want to get into that.
Vegas has to know something, man. The way the lines and the over-unders and how close they are every week.
Yeah.
I don't know what algorithms they use, but it's crazy. Yeah, we've lost our fair share of money so far this year, so.
I mean, this might be an unpopular opinion, though, piggybacking to the Vikings game. I think Thursday Night Football is just the stupidest shit ever.
You think so? Why is that?
First, it's on a Thursday. No, the analytics, the games are never good. They never sell out the stadiums. Nobody ever goes to the games, and if they do, they're not selling many tickets. And it's always on a short week, so the teams are gassed. They don't want to be there. Nobody wants to be there. So why do Thursday Night Football? What's the point?
It's always shit teams. It feels like every freaking week.
Yeah, especially this year, the Thursday night games have been like either it's two shitty teams or it's one team that's way better than the other, and you know what the outcome is going to be.
Yeah, 100%.
And that's just and I knew, but I don't count. You know, the Vikings can lose any game just because they're the Vikings. You never know. So I never count them. I never try and say too much, but. Because this was the perfect trap game. You know, a lot of emotions. Case Keenum, Adrian Peterson, Kirk Cousins playing his old team. So perfect trap game, and it was a super close game for most of the game. So I was a little upset, and I was at my coworker's pumpkin carving party at the time, and they were like, I said, I'm watching the game. I'm not carving pumpkins, and I'm new here, so I wanted to like mingle with my new coworkers. So I agreed to go. And I regret it because I barely watched the game because they just kept talking and walking in front of the TV, and I didn't want to be rude.
You're trying to hold back that part of you that just wants to scream at us.
Oh my God, I told them that. I said I'm terrible to watch football with. So but I think the only thing that saved it was because it was such a shitty game. Like if we were scoring 4 touchdowns, I'd be freaking out. You know?
Yeah.
But I mean, there was 1 touchdown, and I freaking missed it because I was in the kitchen getting a beer. I was like, all right,
That's
quick.
How it always works. You look away for 1 second and something good happens.
And not to jinx anything, knock on wood, ever since I started this podcast, the Vikings are undefeated. Just want to throw that out there.
There you go.
4 wins in a row. This is the 5th podcast, so that means we're going to beat the Chiefs this week. That's just what's going to happen.
They beat the Chiefs, you might have to tweet at them and let them know what's going on.
I might have to get Kirk Cousins on my podcast. He has his own podcast, so...
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's called Under Center with Kirk Cousins. Nice. I kind of like the name of it. That's where he had that famous because when after the Bears game, Thielen and Diggs called him out, very publicly.
Yep.
And he had Thielen on the podcast like the next day and apologized to him and was telling him that that's my bad. I got to get you the ball more, blah blah blah. And then the very next game, Thielen had 2 touchdowns and like 8 catches. So.
Yeah, I feel like ever since Diggs came out and wanted to be traded and ripped the team in the media, he's had like 140 yards every week. So
yeah, he broke Randy Moss's record, most yards in a 3-game span.
Yeah, maybe I need Odell to do something like that. Maybe that'll fire the Browns offense off and get him moving here.
The only reason I offered you for Odell Beckham was because if he got traded, but they didn't do it, so it's whatever.
He's killing me.
Because if he was on the Patriots, he'd be the number 1 receiver in the league right now.
Oh, yeah. Big time.
Well, that's why I picked up Josh Gordon off waivers. I had to. Never know.
Right.
If he goes to the Packers, it's over, man. He's going to be, he'll be putting Devontae Adams numbers up. If he's healthy. I have no idea what his health is at right now.
The guy's just a freak athlete.
But we kind of just float into football there. Usually I make like a sudden all right, let's stop talking about our lives and let's get into football or something. But But it's all right. We can generally feel. But other than that, everything's good. So I need to know, what are your plans after college? Like, are you going back to Australia immediately, or what are you doing?
Well, the plan hopefully is pick up a coaching gig, and at least hang around for 2 years and try that out.
And get your master's?
Get my master's and try out the coaching gig and kind of see if that's for me. And, after a couple of years, if that isn't quite what I'm looking for, then I'll probably head home. But, yeah, as of right now, that's hopefully the plan. You know what they say, if you can't do, teach. So I think coaching might be the way for me.
Are you not? I mean, I don't know. Are you getting considerable playing time at Concordia?
I had my chances last year, but didn't quite take advantage. So I was kind of our fourth outfielder down the stretch.
Yeah.
So in a battle again for playing time this year, which is obviously a good thing in the grand scheme of our team, because we're pretty deep offensively. So hopefully have a good winter off season here, and then who knows, come out in the spring and hopefully square up a few in the first week and solidify a spot.
Yeah, you just got to get hot, man. That's your thing.
Yeah,
because when you're hot, you're hot.
That's what it's all about.
I think, and bear with me here, you gained 50 pounds and play first base.
I've been trying to do it for 5 years, man. I've been there's such a closer run from the dugout. Don't have to do anything. You just stand there and catch the ball.
Hardly ever get hurt.
Sorry?
Hardly ever get hurt.
Oh, absolutely. If I gained 50 pounds, I'd probably hit more home runs.
That's what I'm saying.
Sick. That'd be great.
You just let yourself go. Eat whatever you want.
I know. I should have done that last summer.
Don't have to conform to society and what our figures have to be. God.
Yeah.
God.
We got 3 stud first basemen already, so
of course.
I think I'd be shit out of luck there anyway.
Are you currently rocking the stash right now?
No, not right now.
You need to grow that back. That was a gnarly mustache.
I know. I might bring it back for the season. We'll see.
I think that's what'll help you hit some dingers there for sure. The mustache that seemed to help Ben's last year.
Yeah, a little mustache power.
Yeah, Ben's hit 20.
I don't know if Ben's needed the mustache. He had enough power as it was.
Yeah, I think he broke the record for home runs at Cumberland's.
He was only there for what, 3 years?
3 years.
4 years.
Yeah, and then he had a brief stint in pro ball for a little bit with the independent league. I forget where. I think it was up by you around that. Or no, it was in Michigan? Yeah.
Yeah.
Detroit or something like that. And he told me he got signed, and it was their last month or something like that. It's why are they signing guys and feeling got 1 month left,
Man, indie ball's a dog-eat-dog world, man.
I couldn't do it. That's for people that just love baseball.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I don't know if I could either, honestly. You get, no money.
Yeah, you get paid shitty.
No fans. It's tough.
One of my really good friends from Jacksonville, Brandon Cook, he went to indie ball and played 3 years and had a pretty decent career. Showed me his numbers, and I heard in his first year there, they won the World Series for indie ball. So, and there was he was showing me videos that they were doing champagne showers and shit, just like you would in a World Series. It was crazy. He was we couldn't get any goggles though, so our eyes were burning.
Yeah, I was gonna say the only difference is that they probably bought the champagne themselves. It wasn't provided.
Yeah, I'm not sure who bought it, but he said, and then he got an upgrade, got pulled up or something like that. I thought he was pretty close, I think, at one point, and then I don't know, either he started sucking or the injury bug, I forget. It was a few years ago. Now he's a firefighter, so everything happens. Everything happens for a reason, but I don't know. So you want to be a journalist then? Is that the end game here, or is a coach at the end game, or both?
That's the question, man. I don't know. I think being a journalist could be the end game. I just imagine writing stories about sports, just, it's not a real bad gig for the rest of your life. So if I could pick up that somewhere, whether that's here or back home in Australia, either or, I think that'd be a pretty damn good career path, honestly.
Fun. That's where every all these big time analysts you see now are big time analysts now. They're pretty much they start their careers off as journalists, like Stephen A, Skip Bayless. They all did that. Max Kellerman. They were all. I mean, granted, they were taking on their sweet ass time doing it. They were like Skip Bayless was in Philly for like 20 years before he was on First Take. So same with Stephen A covering the Knicks for so long. That's why they're so good fans of that. So maybe that could be in your future as well.
Yeah, I think that'd be sweet. I think I read a story about Woj one time before he was dropping bombs on Twitter. He was like covering high school football in the rain wherever he's from and having to count up stats by hand, and now he's like the most prominent NBA insider in the world. So,
oh yeah, big time.
Yeah, who knows if humble beginnings can lead to big things.
That's all you got to do. You just got to stay humble. But I believe in you. If anything you write, I will read because you're a good writer, and I think that
I appreciate that, brother.
It'll be good. Whatever you do. And I hope this is for selfish reasons. I hope you move back to Australia so I can have a place to stay when I go out there.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Because I remember, I don't know if you remember our first conversation we had at Cumberland's, because like, I think it was Robbie. Robbie's like, I was like, oh, like, who have you talked to or something like that? He goes, oh, there's an Australian here. His name's Nick. And he pointed at you. I was like, is he legit Australian? He's like, yeah. And I was like, oh, he's my ticket. There's my ticket in right there.
Your golden ticket.
I said I needed to know one person from Australia, and I was like, I'm gonna go be his friend right now.
You still got to go save the Great Barrier Reef.
That's what I mean. That's the goal, man. I got to go see it before I save it.
Yeah.
I want to see it before it's all gone because it's pretty much gonna be gone soon. I
know, it's crazy.
I'm watching a great show right now on Netflix called Zoo. I don't know if you've heard of it, and it's kind of like. I like it because the science behind it. So it's basically if every animal on Earth turned on humans, like started killing us, and it was like we would obviously lose because there's way more animals than there are humans.
Right.
And it's actually pretty like there's some weird parts, but it's like logical. Like they're saying it's like a mutation that like comes up where they're like not afraid of humans anymore, and there's like dogs that are killing and eating people. It's crazy.
I might have to check it out. It's on Netflix?
Yeah, it's called Zoo. It's pretty like the acting kind of sucks, but I mean, and the graphics aren't the best, but I mean, it's pretty great.
I'll check it out.
I like the concept of it, but yeah, other than that, that's what I do on my days off. I just watch Zoo and podcast a little bit. No big deal. But all right, man, let's get into some fucking sports.
Yeah.
That's how I usually get it. That's how I usually get into it. We've already gone into some sports already, but
I love that transition.
It's the greatest transition ever. So obviously the biggest news, Washington Nationals win their first World Series championship since like 1920, I think it was, when they were the Senators or whatever, Sentinels?
Yeah.
Whatever they were.
A million years ago.
Yeah, basically, yeah, it doesn't matter if anything, but I gotta ask you right now. This is the hot question right now. Who would you rather have on your team? Not build around. Let's say. I mean, okay. Let me just ask. Who would you rather have on your team? Juan Soto or Bryce Harper?
That's tough. It's tough. I'm not as much of a Bryce hater as apparently the rest of the world is, but I think the answer still is Juan Soto. He's just he's something else, man. He's a freak. He's an absolute stud.
Yeah, I would take Juan Soto over Bryce Harper any day. I think Bryce is a good guy, but I think he's just too much noise. You know what I mean? There's too much focus on him. You know, obviously, I mean, I'm not saying he's not worth that money, but I'm kind of saying that at the same time. But I don't know. I just think it's so funny that he leaves and they win the World Series. Like I
know.
If it was any other sport, people would go nuts. But like, you know, it's not that big of it. Like you don't hear all these questions getting asked to the players and coaches like, oh, you know, Bryce Harper's not here. You know what I mean? If this was like football, it'd be 100% different. You know?
Yeah. Have you seen that video that's kind of resurfacing when he signed with Philly? He said, "We want to bring a title back to DC."
To DC.
On accident, and then the Nationals went ahead and won the World Series. So that's kind of some
that's crazy.
Poetic justice there.
That's what I'm saying. That's crazy. So I mean, yeah, I think that that was, I don't know if that was the right move for Bryce. I mean, did they? You have to help me out here. Did he play with Juan Soto, or is this Juan Soto's rookie year?
No, he would have played with Juan Soto last year, 2018, for a little bit. But yeah, this year was certainly Juan Soto's coming out party, man. He had a huge year, and I think he's only going to get better from here. He's 21.
Yeah.
Man, I'm 22. I'm old. That way. Just sitting there watching the games, thinking that, man, he's younger than me, and he's hitting home runs on the biggest stage of them all.
Exactly.
It kind of pisses you off a little bit.
Yeah, the older you get, the less you really idolize these players because they're like the same age as them.
They're younger than you, and it just pisses you off.
Yeah, I got a buddy I used to work with back home. He's getting a little older now. He's like 29, 28. And I asked him, I was like, oh, are you going to get, who was it? He's a Patriots fan. So I was like, you can get so-and-so's jersey? He's like, hell no, I'm not going to get so-and-so's jersey. I think it was Gronk, honestly. And he's like, I was like, why wouldn't you get Gronk jersey? He's like, because the guy's my age. I'm not going to do that. Like, I was like, who cares? I was like, he has to be older than me. So that's why I have a Brady jersey.
I saw a video of Charles Barkley a couple weeks ago that said the only people that should wear jerseys are hot girls, little kids, and guys that actually played the game. That's what he said. So there's Charles's hot take on
that is a hot take.
Guys wearing jerseys.
He needs to figure it out because I love wearing my jersey. That's the only jersey I have. I need to get an Adam Thielen jersey.
I was gonna say, what's your go-to on game day? If you're at home watching the game, obviously.
I'm super superstitious, if that makes sense.
Yep.
So I wear the same shit. I wear usually on top. I don't usually. It doesn't matter with the shorts, or like the underwear. I don't care about that. I wear my Anthony Barr 55 jersey with a yellow polo t-shirt underneath, or like a golden polo t-shirt underneath. That's a little too small for me now, but it matches the gold in the jersey, so I think it looks fresh. But I have mixed it up, the undershirt here and there. Like if it's cold, like to the game I went last year, I wore a hoodie underneath, so it doesn't really matter. And it's my only jersey. I want to get a new one.
Yeah,
but I've gotten less superstitious as years go. But I mean, my New Year's resolution every year is to not take football so serious, but it never works out.
It's impossible.
But I mean, I'm kind of forced to not take it so serious this year because I can't fucking watch it, like real time. I have to, like I told you before we called here, I have to record it and then come home and watch it like it's brand new. And
That's
thankfully, my friends have been not assholes and not spoiled anything for me. But I think it's also because the games haven't been like crazy. Like if the Vikings win on some last-second field goal, if we lose on a last-second field goal, some crazy stuff, then I'll probably see it on my phone or text or something like that where I won't be able to avoid that. But I've been usually pretty good about not spoiling it for me. Like at my lunch break, if I look at my phone, I put my hand over it first to make sure I don't see any kind of NFL or fantasy updates or text in general. I just kind of watch TV on my phone or something like that, and if something pops up, I try not to look at it.
I don't know how you do it, man.
It's
the thought
tough.
Of not checking my fantasy team every single second of Sunday afternoon and Sunday night makes me want to kill myself.
Yes,
like, I need to check that fantasy app non-stop to see if I'm going to win or lose.
Oh, I look at it. I make up for it at night, looking at it over and over again. So. This past Sunday was great because I got to, I was watching Red Zone because obviously the Vikings played Thursday, so I was able to watch it at my lunch break. But as you know, being in my league, I had a historic 239-point week.
Yeah.
And which was the greatest week in fantasy I've ever had. I think the highest before that was probably 200, and that was probably 2 years ago. This year, and I was watching just the Red Zone, and it was like, oh, game break, Aaron Jones, touchdown, or no, that was at night, but it was like game break, yeah. Mike Evans, touchdown, game break, Cooper Kupp, touchdown, like game break, Drew Brees, touchdown. I'm like, these are all my players, they're all going off. Like,
when I kind of did my Sunday night scan of all my leagues, and looking at all the scoreboards, I kind of dropped like a holy shit, 240. I'm looking at it right now, 240. I've never seen that in my 3 or 4 years of playing fantasy football.
Yeah, I played for 10 years, and I think the highest score I saw was about 220, 215. But that was also in a bonus league. That was like if you score a 58-yard touchdown, you get 5 extra points. So that kind of doesn't even count.
This is just a straight-up PPR.
Exactly. Standard, no bonus bullshit. I hate bonuses. I hate non-PPR. I don't know how. Like, I have so many friends that are in non-PPR that'll text me asking for advice, and I say I'm not giving you any because I can't do non-PPR. I'm like, oh, who should I start? I'm like, oh, James White for sure. They're like, oh, he sucks. I'm like, that guy gets like 6 catches a game. Like, what do you mean? It's like, no PPR.
I don't understand the thought process behind wanting to score like 75 and 80 points.
Yeah.
And being like, oh, this was a successful week.
Yeah.
I want to score 240 points. That's it. That's what I want.
And what's crazy is because, I mean, you can give me shit all you want for assembling the super team I've assembled, but it took a lot of effort, if I'm being honest, to assemble this team. And I mean, I drafted the majority of them. I mean, Aaron Jones, Cooper Kupp, and Saquon were my only trades, and I mean those are great players. But I snagged Cooper Kupp and Aaron Jones from a guy who was 0-3, who was desperate for a win, this was before Cooper Kupp and Aaron Jones were going off. But I knew they were going to go off later as the weeks go by, and then Drew Brees, hurts his thumb, idiot, immediately drops him, idiot. No, you don't drop Drew Brees. I'm sorry, you don't. Unless you have like I think it was Dex, so I think he had Lamar Jackson. So I give him you can drop him if you got Lamar. But instantly picked him up, and I said I'm waiting it out because as soon as he's back, I got my super team. I have no weak positions at that point.
I'm with you. I'm an openly anti-veto guy. That's the hill I will die on.
So you didn't veto that trade?
I didn't. I've never vetoed a trade in my life.
Me either.
You know as well as anybody that our group chat just goes off every time a trade goes through because people don't like it. But the way I think of it is that, like, if I don't like it, maybe I should have exploited that guy first, and then I wouldn't be complaining because I'd be the one with the better team. So,
I mean,
I'm openly anti-veto. I more just want to tell the guys how stupid they are for making that trade. That's where I like to get in on the trade talk.
I mean, there's an art to trade raping, and
yeah.
Maybe I shouldn't give away all my secrets, but I mean, they're really not that secretive. If the guy is like the first 2 weeks in fantasy are, and I'm not kidding, they're make or break for your season. They really are. Like, it's very hard for you to lose your first 2 or 3 games, and then
6.
Hey, I made a bold prediction 3 weeks ago on this podcast that you would make the playoffs.
So I'm gonna make the playoffs.
You have to be a top 6 team. It's only.
Yep.
I mean, I don't know how many games back you are.
I'm in the hunt. That's all that matters.
I think you have to win out. Am I wrong?
I can maybe lose once.
And you play me, so I think you play me again, don't you?
I know, but I'm going to beat you, so it's not a problem.
I mean, you're projected 136. I'm projected 141, so it's not that much big of a difference. But projections don't mean shit, though.
No, I'm a big projection guy, too. I love projections.
That's what, I'm literally starting, in my other league, I'm starting Josh Allen over Gardner Minshew, which probably Minshew's the better start, but it's only because Allen's projected like 3 more points, and I'm like, you know what, this looks better on the projections.
100%.
I want to start him.
I'm so guilty of that, too.
Like, just picking people up because their projection's high, like...
Yeah, I just want to see the highest number possible before the week starts on Sunday, and then just cross my fingers from there.
I mean, that's why in one of my other leagues I had to pick up Danny Amendola, and he was only projected like 9 points. But I saw him in the Vikings game because I watched the game. He was, he caught like 10 balls, and I was like, all right, now Stafford found his guy, and I started him last week. He scored 17, so I knew he was going to go above his projection. I think I have him on my bench in our league. But
man, Stafford looks good. That whole Lions offense, I mean, it hurts without Kerryon Johnson, but
not really.
They're throwing the hell out of it.
It's Pad Stafford, baby. He's the youngest quarterback to ever throw 40,000 yards. So that's a lot of throwing when you're behind by 1 billion points. So that's just been the Lions' career. But I'm gonna have to disagree with you on they're gonna miss Kerryon Johnson. I mean, he was basically a non-factor for the entire season. So it's more like their receivers. There's Kenny Galladay, Marvin Jones Jr. Those are those are good guys. I mean, Carry On, yeah, of course he's there. I mean, I think he's a good blocker, but fantasy-wise, he hasn't busted out this year.
That's fair. I'm also an openly offensive lines create great running backs.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Big time.
That's another hill that I'm dying on. So
that's the Steelers right there. The Steelers make good running backs. I mean, you could say, I mean, I think Le'Veon Bell's good no matter where, but he's obviously not as good in the Jets situation than he was in Pittsburgh. It's just clear as day. And obviously when he went down years back, you saw D'Angelo Williams go in there, and he had like a historic 3-game stretch when Le'Veon Bell was suspended for weed, and it's just the line, because then once Le'Veon was back, D'Angelo was scoring 1 point a week. So that's just the Steelers' offensive line. They make great running backs.
100%.
That's just the way they go. But yeah, I'm hoping I can win out and just win the league. People complain all they want, and I really don't care, because I made them pay up front, and that's all that matters. Make sure they pay up front. That's all I'm going to say. That's the last.
I don't think you're going to win the league, though.
Ooh, you don't think?
No, because you're a notorious playoff choker.
I am. That's why. Why do you think I've tried to assemble this super team? I'm trying to give myself 0 chances to lose here.
I know. This is what, third year of this league?
4th for me, 3rd for you.
4th? Yeah, 3rd for me. And what, you've been in the championship the last 2 years?
3 years. No.
Oh my goodness.
2. I was in it 3 out of 4 years. So I was in it the first year and lost. And I'll say this: I lost because I'm a bad commissioner, and I made week 17 a thing.
Oh no.
Yeah, and so none of my players played, and all of his players played, and it was a 2-week championship, and that's what it was. Also bullshit. 2-week. It was my first time being commish, so give me a break. It was 2-week playoffs, which was bullshit, and so I whooped him week 16, which should be the fantasy championship, week 16, and I think I beat him like 160 to like 75, and then his whole entire roster busted out for like 120 points in week 17, and mine only scored, like 50 or something. He ended up coming back and beating me, and I thought that was the biggest horse shit ever, and I was like, unbelievable how I lost. And then obviously with you, I put up like 160 last year.
Yeah, but I was unstoppable.
I put up 160. I wasn't even mad like last year. I put up 160. I should win a game, any game, putting up 160.
I just remember. I don't remember the rest of my team. All I know is last year I had McCaffrey, DeAndre Hopkins, and Zach Ertz. And those three just went off every single week. And
yeah.
I didn't make one trade all year. That was the team I drafted, and I just ran the whole thing to the ship. Second year ever of fantasy football, took home the championship. Not a big deal or anything.
So yeah, so I got my numbers mixed up. So I've been in. This is my 4th year, but I've been in it 2 times out of the 3 years. So once, then I wasn't in it. I think Dex won it the year before you did.
No,
Bart won the. Did Bart win the year before you won?
Yeah, he beat Dex in the championship.
Okay, and then you won, and then to be determined this time. I predicted you to make the playoffs this year, but if I'm being honest, I'm really hoping you don't, because that's all that, like, regular season doesn't matter, because just make it, man. Just make it. That's all you got to do.
I'm a scary playoff team. I'll
that's
tell
what
you
I'm
that
saying.
much.
And I'm a notorious playoff choker. I will say it. So I say I'm a fantasy football guru, but I should really say regular season fantasy football guru. I'm like Andy Dalton and Kirk Cousins, just regular season guys, no big deal. But yeah, I didn't end up getting on Matthew Berry's Twitter. I was pretty pissed about it. I tweeted at him, and these like 2 randos were like, "It doesn't count when you have Saquon and Christian McCaffrey." I was like, "Yeah, you're probably right."
Yeah, that's fair. That's a fair point.
But I had Aaron Jones and Cooper Kupp, and those are arguably his 2 favorite players. Like, he always talks about them. That's why I thought I'd get on it.
Yeah.
Maybe I was on it. I don't know. I didn't really watch it. It's not like he tagged me in anything. But no big deal. But I love how we started this with the World Series, and we ended up back to fantasy football. I don't know how that happens.
Football's way more entertaining than baseball. That's how it goes.
Yeah, I mean, if I'm being honest, the World Series Game 7 was my second baseball game I watched all year. And the first one was a live game. It was in Arlington when the Twins whooped the Rangers' ass.
Yeah, I find without fantasy baseball or having a sports bet placed on the game, I'm really not interested, honestly.
Do you do the parlays?
Yeah, just to throw out $5 on just a bunch of Hail Marys and then hope for the best, but it never works. Never works.
Yeah, like what gives you the highest percentage to win something? Like, is there anything just predicting outcomes? Can you just predict winners? Like, I feel like that's easier than predicting scores.
Yeah, so you can just pick teams to win games, just straight up. Like they just have to win the game, but like the odds aren't as good.
So you won't make that much money.
So like if you had bet, on the Patriots every week when against like when they played the Jets or whoever else they played that sucks. Like just the payout isn't really. It'd be like $100 to win like 10. So like the risk reward really isn't worth it.
Yeah.
Like if you take the Patriots, minus a certain amount of points or whatever it is, then you can almost win even money. So it'd be like 100 to win 100.
Yeah.
That's kind of where it comes into it.
Yeah, I want to get into it. I don't think I really have an addictive personality, so I feel like I would be able to do that. I feel like I'd be okay. Like I don't know if I'm the only one. Like I've been to casinos before, and it's like if I ever won, I would know to just get out, and some people just don't know that, which is strange.
We went to the casino like 3 weeks. I put $20 in the slots, and first spin I won 150, and that's it.
That's my night. There we go.
Yeah. I think I only lost 50 more. I was like, all right, if I get to 100, I'm leaving with a profit of $100. So
yeah,
that's a good enough night for me.
Yeah, I went one time with Robbie, and this lady won like $5,000 or something like that, and she didn't even like flinch. Like she was like, okay. And I was like, why isn't she freaking out right now? And Robbie's like, because she's probably spent $6.
Yeah.
Like she just won her money back or something, Oh, thank God.
Yeah, some people just sit in there all night. Crazy, honestly.
Can't do that. And Robbie's friend, he bet he pulled like 380 out, and he said, this is all I'm going to do. And this is Hernandez, by the way. Shout out Hernandez. And this man, you met him, didn't you? Have you met him?
I have not, but I have heard about him.
Yeah, you've heard the iconic stories. He is the biggest gambling addict I've ever seen. He pulled out 380 and said, this is all I'm doing. And I said, all right, whatever. You're working, man. You can afford it. Loses it within like 30 minutes and immediately goes to the ATM and just pulls out more. He pulled out like 200 more and then came over to where I was using my free. They gave me like a free like $10 to use because it was my first time there. So I'm using it, and I won like some money, and then I used it. Like it wasn't that much; it was probably like $5 I won. So I just kept going, and then he went in there. He goes, "Let me show you how to do it, Kleist," and then swipes it for like $30 and loses it in like one swipe. And he just keeps pressing the button. That's like $5, $5. He just kept losing it. I was like, "Dude, what are you doing?" Like I couldn't do that. I value money too much.
Yeah, some people, man, they're just hoping to hit a big winner. They'll just do whatever it takes. Like
I literally, I don't care how rich I ever get. I have told people this before. I don't care how rich I ever get. I will still like order a water at a restaurant if I go out or something like that.
Yeah.
Unless it's like obviously if I'll get a beer somewhere, but if it's like if I'm going to Subway or something, I'll be like, yeah, let me get a water cup. I'll still ask for a water cup. I don't care how rich I am. I ain't spending that money. And then I can put something in there. I'll usually put vitamin water in there, and if they want to give me shit, I'll be like, it's still water. Still got it in there, the vitamin water.
The technicality on them.
But yeah, I don't. Were you rooting for the Nationals or the Astros, or did you not give a shit?
I was rooting for the Nationals. They felt like a team of destiny almost.
Is it because the Stros beat the Yankees?
Nah, I just prefer the underdogs. I think.
Yeah, I'm the same way.
And I would have bet on the Nationals if I had any money left in the bank account, but we don't. So there's free money I would have made.
I don't know who it was on Twitter. I saw someone bet $10 million. He already had $10 million on the Stros to win, and then when they were down 2-0, he bet like $5 more on them or something like that. And
the mattress guy, he's like a mattress tycoon or something. And
somebody,
he's
no
just
idea.
shitting $100 bills, so he lost like $13 million on the Astros.
I bet he didn't blink an eye. But he was like, all right, back to the drawing board. I'll wait till next year. Now football's on. Let's just do that. Just parlays. It's weird. And obviously going to Keeneland, you've been to Keeneland before, so seeing those junkies there. I went there. The last time I was there was a guy literally spanking himself in the ass, like acting like he was the horse. Like that's how into it he was.
Yeah, those fellas take it serious.
I mean, those are the guys you got to watch out for. You never know. But there's some big free agents going on in the MLB. Garrett Cole, the likely Cy Young. Do you know if he's on the move anywhere, or who would be interested, or who's got the money for him?
People are saying the Angels.
Ooh.
He's from around that area, and he went to college at UCLA. So,
is this your inside information?
No. This is very public information. This is just what I'm seeing around the Twitter sphere.
Oh yeah.
So that seems like a likely destination for him. That'd make the Angels just infinitely better. So
for
maybe
sure,
Montreal could actually, get in the playoffs like he deserves. So
yeah, he deserves a World Series, man.
Yeah, he just deserves a decent playoff run, I think.
That too.
It's just
baby steps.
He just needs help. He needs so much help.
I mean, he's worth every penny. I mean, I remember you telling me that when I had my show called Wide Left. You said he was worth every penny.
Yep,
and,
no doubt.
And I think that they just need to do more to help the guy out. Spend a little bit more money, get some players, It's all about pitching. You just need pitching. And the Twins found that out very quickly. 100 win team, broke the MLB record for home runs in a season, and then lost first round to the Yankees. Swept first round to the Yankees.
Yeah, I mean, Steven Strasburg was probably the best pitcher in the whole postseason, and, he ends up being World Series MVP. Obviously, Max Scherzer is probably a top 5 starting pitcher in the major leagues. So
just stacked.
You need lights out pitching if you want to go deep in the playoffs.
Yeah, I remember the Twins were interested. There was rumors interested in getting Mad Bun by the deadline, and I mean, I don't know if he's still in his prime, if he's even that good anymore, but he's certainly miles better than anybody we had. We had that Jose Barrios guy, but he was trash this year. He was so bad. Last year, he was way better in the games that I watched.
This was the year for the Twins to pull the trigger, and they didn't do anything at the deadline to help themselves out. 15
straight playoff losses for the Twins. If that's not the most Minnesota thing ever, I don't know what is. And of course, it's to the Yankees. The Yankees always beat us in the postseason. I remember, I think I watched it with you 2 years ago when the Twins and Yankees played each other in the first round again, and we lost. God, so trash.
It's just the same old story.
I can't deal with it. Let's not talk any more baseball. Baseball sucks. That's why I don't play it anymore.
Okay.
That's why you're not going to play it for much longer either.
Yep.
All right, let's get into some football news. Some headlines out there right now. J.J. Watt, obviously, DN for the Texans, out for the season with a pectoral tear. Is it time for J.J. Watt to retire?
Yeah, it's got to get close.
It's like his fourth major injury.
Right.
Was that like his shoulder, his pec, his knee, and his shoulder again or something? Or his elbow? Something in his arm. His back.
I don't know how he keeps coming back from this stuff. It's crazy. I mean, he's only 30, but these kind of injuries, they add up over time. I don't know a lot about his stats this year, but I don't know if he's quite at the same level as he was, 2, 3, 4 years ago. So
yeah,
he'll come back and he's an animal.
I mean, I'm hoping. I mean, he's good for the game. He's a dominant player. I think he could come back, but I mean, you just gotta. I mean, look at Andrew Luck, man. I mean, he retired. He knew when to retire, because I mean, he, even though I think he retired a little too soon, but I don't know. It just JJ Watt's a billionaire. You might as well. I mean, he can make a lot of money outside of the game too.
Yeah, the injuries, man, it just takes its toll on your body and your mind, just constant rehabbing and stuff. So
I mean,
I certainly wouldn't blame him.
He's just too big of a human, man. He's like 6'9", 290, I think, or 300. Like moving that fast, hitting people that hard, you're bound to just hurt your body. Your body can't handle it for that long.
Yeah, and he's ripped too. He's like,
yeah, you know how hard it is to be that.
290 with a 12-pack of abs and huge arms. So
yeah, I don't know how he does it. But I mean, geez, just like Zion, man. Zion, he's too big. He's too big for his own good. That's why he broke his shoe. Like, what man breaks their shoe playing basketball? A brand new pair of shoes too. And now he's out with a knee injury and back injury. You know, I'm not ready to call him a bust yet, but I certainly think might be injury prone.
He hasn't made a minute of NBA basketball, so I'm not ready to call him a bust yet either.
Yeah, that's why I said, I'm not ready yet. I'll give him a little bit. Markelle Fultz got a while before everyone called him a bust.
What a bad pick that was.
I mean, he went viral a couple games ago and he dunked over somebody. I mean, cool. He still can't shoot.
It's got the yips.
You know who can shoot, though, is Ben Simmons. Whoa.
Yes.
He can shoot threes now.
Yes, he's back, and he's ready to lead Australia to a 2020 gold medal at the Olympics.
You don't even care about the Sixers. You just want to see him win for the...
Someone cut that audio clip and send it to me, and I'm going to post it everywhere when we win the gold medal, and Ben Simmons rains like 12 threes in the gold medal game. As a huge middle finger to the rest of the world and everyone that said he couldn't shoot.
He's just going to shoot right over Steph Curry.
Yep.
For the game winner in the world championship. That'd be something else for sure.
It'll be America's fourth stringers, which I don't really care about. If the first stringers don't want to play, we can't control that. But it'll be our first stringers, and we're going to win the gold medal next year.
I mean, at least it's not like the French or anybody. It's okay if Australia wins, even though I don't really like Patty Mills that much. Patty Mills is just like kind of an annoying player, but no, yeah, the basketball for USA hasn't been good since 2012 when it was like LeBron, Kobe, or not, maybe even 2008. It was like Kobe, LeBron, Carmelo, Dwayne Wade, like Chris Bosh, all these amazing players. They just blew people out like by 60 every game. Wasn't even close.
I think Australia beat America at the last international tournament. I can't remember what it was called, or
probably.
I think we beat them, because it was a collection of
Yeah, we had like
all-star caliber players.
We had like Devin Booker as our number one.
Yeah, we'll take what we can get. We didn't have Ben Simmons either, so we'll take it for sure.
Another headline in sports right now: the coldest to ever do it, Crawford commits to Louisiana State University. Go Tigers! So I know nothing about the guy, but he has an amazing name, and he's going to the NFL, and he's going to sell a lot of jerseys. That's all that's going to happen.
Just an all-time name, and I'm just imagining what Coach O thought, like when he was first tipped off about this guy, and then someone had to explain to him that his name was the coldest, and he had probably had to explain it like 6 times. Then the first time they met each other, I'm sure that was just an interesting conversation, no doubt.
I mean, but what about the parents? What are the parents thinking? Because that's literally his name, is the coldest. Like, that's on his birth certificate. I mean, if he backs it up on the field, man, then maybe he is the coldest. I guess we'll find out in a couple of years when he goes on that LSU jersey. I mean, is he committed for this next season coming up, or is he a junior right now? I think he's a junior. I'll forget about him by then. 2 years from now? It'll resurface on Twitter in 2 years when he plays his first game. Oh, yeah, and he has like a 90-yard touchdown. He runs a 4.2 40. And he's just doing some crazy shit while going in the end zone. Dakotas. God. I just can't wait to hear Goodell say his name. He goes across the stage. Yeah. Because he's not going to say it. He's not going to say it with any swag. He's going to be like, And now I pick the coldest
Yeah.
the coldest Crawford to ever do it. Maybe he'll be like a 4th rounder so they can get someone else in there that's more animated to announce his name.
Hopefully.
Unless he's that good, that'll be a 1st-round pick. 160 pounds, I think you told me he was. That's not a... He needs to beef up a bit, or he will get destroyed in the NFL. But he's a wide receiver, right? He's not a running back?
Wide receiver, yeah.
Yeah, we'll get into our top 5 wide receivers later, so just make sure y'all stay tuned if y'all are listening. Some more headlines we got here. Could potentially Tom Brady move after this season? Him and his personal trainer have sold their homes. So is it time for Brady to move on for the Patriots?
I'm not buying it. I feel like whenever he's done with the Patriots, man, he's just going to call it quits. He's already, 42?
Yeah.
I mean, he's done everything there ever is to do. They're already on another Super Bowl track this year. They're looking like the favorites. So I feel like if he wins one more, he might just call it quits and hang out with his supermodel wife and all of his money and, live the dream.
I don't think that's the weird thing. I don't think he cares, man. I don't think he cares. Like, not that he doesn't care about his family, but I don't think he cares, like, to spend time or, like, worry about anything else but football. Like, he'll play until nobody will sign him anymore, I'm telling you. Like, I just think that's his mentality. He doesn't care if it's the Patriots or not. So I can for sure see him playing somewhere else. Maybe not next season, but next season would line up because there was some rumors saying that Jimmy G have an opt-out deal to move on from him after this season. And if they could get Brady, because that's his, he's from the California, the Bay Area, he's from around there. And then the Patriots get their guy back, to get Jimmy G back, which Bill Belichick never wanted to get rid of him. So I don't think the 49ers would do that since they're doing pretty successful with him right now. But I think that'd be a pretty crazy trade-off right there.
Yeah, that'd be interesting to see how that plays out. It's not out of the realm of possibility.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, I think I can't imagine Brady playing anywhere else. Like, it'd be weird to see that, but if it had to be somewhere, it's definitely a California team. Or even if Phillip Rivers gets moved on from, they get rid of him because he doesn't look that great. Because I think the Chargers could easily be a Super Bowl contender with Brady as their quarterback.
It looks terrible right now, Phillip Rivers.
Poor guy too. Yeah, he's such a gunslinger. I like the guy. He's really animated and whatnot, but I just can't give him that much credit. And he's just not doing it. Even the running backs aren't doing good anymore. Eckler and Gordon. I traded Eckler away at the right time. That's for sure.
Yeah, I just think the backfield can't hold both of them. Certainly not for fantasy purposes. They're just eating into each other's touches.
No, yeah, for sure. I think that I would have stuck with Eckler and just not paid Gordon or even bring him back because I think they were winning games before Gordon got there. Eckler was doing good.
Yeah, he was going off. He was looking like a fantasy league winner, and now he's just a bye-week flex.
I mean, they beat the Bears though last week, so that's pretty good. That was my upset of the week last week too. So don't sleep. Maybe my upset of the week this week will be right too. And Thursday Night Football has started right now. By the way, Arizona is losing, or no, San Francisco is losing 0-7. Ooh, watch out! Don't sleep on the Cardinals.
Tevin Coleman has 0 points in 2 of my leagues, so that's not a hot start. That's not what we were looking for to start the week.
Well, Breed is healthy, so they're going to split carries again. I can't stand the 49ers backfield. Can't stand it.
Yeah, it's tough having guys that split carries, but
it's just like the Patriots backfield. There's too many guys. You never know. You never know who's going to be the guy that week. But yeah, you never know. Some more news. Let's get into some more news. Okay, could be NFL, could be NBA. Let's jump to the NBA real quick. We're everywhere now. I don't give a shit. Karl Anthony Towns and Joel Embiid getting a huge fight last night. In the eventual Timberwolves' first loss of the season. Don't sleep on the Timberwolves out of the West this year. We're going to make the playoffs and lose first round. Don't sleep. That's just Minnesota sports. both of them are suspended 2 games, and I'm pissed at your boy Ben Simmons because he comes in, and I don't know if you saw the video, he comes in and puts Karl Anthony Towns in a headlock and like literally made him tap out, and he doesn't get suspended.
He's not playing around, dude. He's tough. He's from the Outback. He's not messing around.
Shooting threes and putting people in headlocks. He's not. Yeah, he wants to win this year. I think that's his thing.
Yeah.
I mean, they're obviously have a stacked roster, so we'll see if they can stay healthy. That's always been their thing, especially Embiid. Again, another guy who's too big for his own good. Man just gets hurt all the time. Because he plays like he's not 7'2". Plays like he's 5'10", thinking he can just roll around everywhere, but he can't.
Yeah, but when he's healthy, man, he's got to be one of the best big in the league. So, yeah, if he stays healthy, Philly could be the real deal this year.
I mean, out of the East is super weak, so I would not put it out of the realm of possibility for them winning the East and going to the NBA Finals. They were close last year. Took a Kawhi Leonard, one of the greatest in the game right now, to beat them. And I think Kawhi Leonard was put on this earth to end LeBron James's career. I think that's his thing. He's the Terminator of LeBron. Came in here, beat him when he was with the Spurs, beat him, didn't let him even make the playoffs with the Raptors, took over the East. Just what happens.
He's got that Terminator personality for sure. He's got that thing locked down.
And now you see the Warriors, they're just trash. Steph Curry, broken hand, Klay Thompson, torn ACL, KD, the biggest snake in the NBA. He's to the Brooklyn Nets now. But did you watch on KD's show called like The Boardroom or whatever it's called with Stephen A, where they kind of hash things out? KD was saying that the Draymond beef actually was one of the biggest reasons why he left.
Oh, he said that?
Yeah, he said it was definitely a reason. He was like, and it made sense because he said once that news broke out, like what Draymond said to him, that's all anybody talked about for the rest of the year was where he's going, what he's doing, like in the off season, which makes sense. I mean,
yeah, I don't blame him for leaving.
I would have for sure left as well.
It looked like a pretty toxic situation, so.
Yeah, just because nobody was giving him credit for the two. I mean, I don't give him credit. He joined a fucking super team. I'm not giving him any credit for that. It's the biggest snake in the NBA. Biggest move, weakest move by a superstar in the NBA. Plain and simple. Stephen A. Smith. Literally word for word what he said. Because it's in a song now that I have on my phone. That's the only reason why I know it. It's called FKD. No big deal. I'd play it right now, but there's copyright issues. Last headline before we get into some more shit. Jalen Ramsey split up with Golden Tate's girlfriend after he knocked her up. And that'll make my figure it out person of the week. That's, Golden Tate said he's going to find him, and Golden Tate is a scary dude. So I don't know if you've seen the guy, but he's not a small guy. And I think Jalen's all smoke and mirrors. I think he's all talk. I don't know if he can really. He's a good cornerback, but I don't think he can back it up in a fight. Just saying that now. I wish the Giants played the Rams this year. They don't. It's not happening.
Yeah, that would certainly be an interesting battle.
For sure. I think Ramsey might win if it was covering, because Golden Tate's a little out of his prime. But
yeah, who do you think wins in a fist fight? You think Golden Tate wins?
Oh, Golden Tate for sure. Golden Tate looks like the honey badger that just doesn't care and just doesn't feel pain. Jalen Ramsey looks like he cares about his face too much.
Yeah, pretty boy. He'd
get hit in the face and be like, "It's over. I can't do it anymore." Everyone likes to talk shit till they get punched in the mouth. That's Mike Tyson. Mike Tyson for you right there. I'm figuring that out. All right, let's get into it's spooky season now. It's spooky season. So, we got to do our top 5 scariest wide receivers. Ooh. Yeah. Nothing scary about them. But scary as in defenses are for sure afraid of them when they see them. Corners fear them when they see them line up on the other side of them.
Fantasy managers fear them when they see them in opposing lineups.
When they see their projections over 20 points.
Yes.
When they see that they're playing the Dolphins that week. It's over.
Very scary.
So do you want to go 5 to 1?
Yeah, I think we should go 5-1.
You want to do like 5-5, 4-4, go off that, or me just give my top 5, you give your top 5?
We can go back and forth.
Okay.
See how we compare.
I mean, and these change every week. This is why I'm so not inclined to do them, because I mean every week it could change. Like running backs is a little different. Like they stay relatively the same every week, but wide receivers can change at any moment. So my number 5 is my man, number 14, Stephon Diggs, wide receiver for the Minnesota Vikings. Like I said earlier, broke Randy Moss's record for yards in a 3-game span. I think he's got a lot of. He's kind of, you could say he's the poor man's Odell Beckham, but just because Odell Beckham's more of a household name than he is, but obviously became a household name after the Minneapolis Miracle. But he's got great hands, great route running, underrated speed. He's actually extremely fast. And the numbers put up for it. And you could put Thielen there too. I think they go hand in hand, though. They need each other.
Number 5? Jeez Louise. I knew you were a homer, but...
Come on, man. Can you argue that Diggs has been lights out this season? He had like one bad game.
He's not even on my honorable mentions.
Wow. I didn't even make an honorable mention.
Don't worry. I did.
God.
My number 5 wide receiver in the NFL right now is Cooper Kupp.
Wow.
An absolute beast this year.
Yeah, I would agree.
As evident by his fantasy numbers, he's clearly got the trust of Jared Goff, and probably more importantly, Sean McVay, since he is Jared Goff's brain.
Yeah, he's easily the best receiver in that offense.
Yeah, he's basically made Roberts and Brandon Cooks irrelevant. It feels like he's always open. Man, he's a big time. He's not a big guy, but he's a big time red zone target for the Rams. And this is just like he had a good year last year, got hurt, but this is kind of just like a huge breakout year for him. And
he had 220 yards last game.
Yeah, 35 points. A big week.
Big fantasy week for him. I think this could be spoiling the rest of my list, but that's low. It's low for him right now.
Right. Let's see what you got.
Number 4, DeAndre Hopkins, the Avatar himself. The man's unstoppable. You know, obviously last year he had 115 catches, 115 targets, unheard of. Doesn't drop the ball, and he has had a little struggles handling the ball this season. A couple wide open touchdowns he's actually dropped this year. But I mean, good quarterback play obviously with Deshaun Watson. But I just think he's pretty much unguardable. You know, mixture of strength and speed. I think the next guy on my list is the only reason why is the only thing he's missing is what I would say. So what's your number 4?
Number 4 for me is Devontae Adams.
Wow.
For the Packers.
Wow.
Now, I think admittedly he gets helped out by having maybe one of the most talented quarterbacks ever, but I mean, the dude just catches touchdowns nonstop. I mean, the previous 2 seasons nonstop, and I mean, the aim of the game is to score more points than the other team, and the best way to score points is to score touchdowns. So he can run short routes, long routes, big plays. He's Rodgers' top guy in the clutch. He's definitely top 5 for me in my book.
See, if I will say he is top 5 talent on for sure, but I like guys who stay healthy, and he has not stayed healthy this year. So it's just like last week I didn't put who was it? I didn't put Kamara on my top 5 running backs list because he's had some injury bugs. You know, he hasn't been able to stay healthy. So that's just what happened. Is Devontae Adams a top 5 talent? For sure. Is it a little overshadowed by Aaron Rodgers? 100%. Because he can't help that. You know, I think he'd be good in any offense, but that's just what a lot of people hold him back because. You know, I guess that's the good thing about having for the Vikings' sake, good thing having a quarterback like Kirk Cousins because he'll never get any of the credit. You know, being a wide receiver, you'll get all the credit. So, yeah, that's crazy that you have him in your top 5, even though he's hurt. But I see your reasoning, so that's all that matters. My number 3 is, and this is the thing that I think DeAndre lacks. It's Julio Jones, physical specimen of a receiver. Just a 6'2", 225. just same height as DeAndre. I think DeAndre's a little bit taller, but Julio can literally do everything DeAndre can, except he's 30 pounds heavier. You know, it's just a lot harder to do when you're that size. Can't say enough about it. He's the only good guy on the Falcons offense right now, in my opinion. I mean, you can argue Freeman, but he's past his prime. I think Julio's the ageless wonder, and he'll only get better as he gets older, in my opinion.
Yeah, he's definitely a certified beast. Number 3 for me is DeAndre Hopkins. Like you said, a few kind of uncharacteristic drops this year, but still a guy that you definitely, bet your house on to catch a football when you need it.
Yeah, for sure.
And carried me to a fantasy championship last year, so I had to give the man the respect he deserves and put him in my top 5.
Yeah, I mean, did you see what he was for Halloween this year too?
No, I didn't.
He was Aladdin, or he was the genie from Aladdin. So he's like all blue, had the hair all back and whatnot. And it's funny because I didn't think he was gonna be able to outdo his Halloween costume from last year, which was he was literally an avatar from like the movie, and he looked just like one because he has like he paid like some like really famous makeup artist to do it for him and whatnot. So I don't know where he's going for his parties, but obviously it has to be something important if he likes that. He's the kind of guy that's Halloween's his favorite holiday, I bet.
Yeah, he is that kind of guy.
For sure. So, yeah, you can't put it past him, though. My number 2 is Little Cooper Kupp. He's unbelievable this year. I'm so glad I traded for him. Right now, a lot of people said he was better than Adam Thielen. Right now, he is better than Adam Thielen. I think it's just sheer workload, though. If Thielen last year I think Thielen last year blows Cooper Kupp's numbers this year. Because, I mean, obviously Thielen had 8 catches for 100 yards last year. But we're not talking about last year. We're talking about right now. And Cooper Kupp is unbelievable right now. I think that he's sneakily one of the best receivers of the football in the league. People underestimate his speed and his hands. And yeah, last year you can argue the Rams' offense fell apart without him. Yeah, they made it to the Super Bowl, but how many points did they score in the Super Bowl? So I think Jared Goff needs to figure it out and get him the ball even more, and they can make a run in the postseason, unless they run into the Vikings, of course.
Agreed.
Yeah, you're number 2.
My number 2 is Julio.
Dirty Bird.
I got first year this year I have him in fantasy, and he's a calming presence in my lineup because you just know what you're going to get every week.
Yeah, he's an easy 20 points.
6 to 8 catches and 100 yards, occasionally a touchdown. Doesn't matter if it's Matt Ryan or Matt Schaub or freaking me throwing in the ball. He's going to get open and somehow he's going to catch it. So he's just a beast. Did you see that video of Larry Fitzgerald talking to Kyler Murray before they played him? And
yeah.
He was like, man, you got to watch number 11 over there. Like he's the real deal. Like he's one of the best to ever do it. So if Larry Fitzgerald's saying that about you, you're a freaking beast.
Yeah, he didn't say one of the best. He said the best. He goes, that's the best to ever do it right there, which is, yeah. I mean, Fitzgerald's obviously like the second best receiver, third best receiver of all time, which is crazy. But, yeah, that's tremendous respect. I think I just another shitty situation. I wish he was on a better team, It just could have won the Super Bowl a couple years back, but damn. It just and I saw a viral video of Julio. It was a couple years ago. I think it was against the Patriots last year in the regular season, and he just mosses Stephon Gilmore. But like the way he just takes the ball, because Stephon Gilmore had a good play on the ball, but he ripped the ball from his hands and just like landed and it just looked like he stole the ball from him, like from his little brother. You know what I mean? Like just grown man strength.
Yeah,
just unmatched. And my number 1 is, I think, going to be your number 1, Michael Thomas. Yeah, he's unbelievable. 73 catches this year, 875 yards on 4 touchdowns. It doesn't matter who your quarterback is. I think Teddy Bridgewater has played unbelievable this year, and it's all thanks to Michael Thomas when you have a guy like him. And I will say, I'm going to say where I was wrong here. I thought Michael Thomas's fantasy numbers were going to drop big time when Drew Brees got hurt, and I was trying to trade for him before Brees got hurt, and then as soon as he got hurt, I said I don't want him anymore. And I regret that big time because he's the number 1 receiver in fantasy right now. and in real life, in my opinion. And I think he just catches everything. It's just, and it sounds like we're repeating ourselves here, but that's just, there's only so many things you could say about receivers, you know? They do everything.
Yeah. I was just going to say the same thing with Julio, man. It doesn't matter who's under center. They're just going to get open and catch the ball. And it's just crazy. Every week you just look at his stat sheet, and he's got 8 for 100 and then 8 for 100 and a touchdown. And then it's just like, it's just crazy that how good these guys are week in, week out.
Except Julio can block. He's a big man. You know, he's gonna go out there and block. I've seen Diggs make some good blocks too, but you have some honorable mentions though?
Yes.
All right, let's hear them.
Honorable mentions: Tyreek Hill.
Yep.
I think when Mahomes and him are both healthy at the same time, man, that's just a crazy dangerous duo.
Yeah, just throw it up.
How fast he is and how he can just outrun guys, and obviously Mahomes can throw it 1,000 yards. So that's just a crazy dangerous duo. Julian Edelman.
PPR God.
PPR God, Julian Edelman. You guys doubted his PPR godness, but
I did.
He has again lived up to the title. Like Cooper Kupp, man, he's just got the trust of Tom Brady, and that might be the most valuable possession in the entire world. So
I mean, Brady doesn't have anybody else. He lost Antonio Brown. He lost Josh Gordon. Rob Gronkowski. Yeah. Lost everybody. So
yeah, and even if he is the number one guy, somehow he's open every time and he catches the ball. So
underrated route running for sure.
Yeah, that's crazy to put up that kind of numbers when your number 2 is Philip Dorsett. So
he plays the slot.
Yeah, my third and final honorable mention were the 2 Tampa Bay boys,
Godwin,
Chris Godwin, and Mike Evans. Obviously, a big breakout year for Chris Godwin. He's looking like a top 10 guy for years to come. And I remember I reading something in the preseason that even Mike Evans said that he might be the most talented wide receiver they had. So coming from an established guy like that, that's high praise. And yeah, Evans, I mean, it feels like every 3 to 4 weeks he just goes off for 2 to 3 touchdowns and 200 yards. So he's a big guy too. I think he's like 6'5", and he can go up and get it. Yeah,
that's just. I remember when they first drafted. They drafted O.J. Howard and Mike Evans, and they were all their receivers were like over 6'3" at the time, and of course Jameis Winston 6'5" as well, and they called them the Tampa Bay Duncaneers, and because they're going to dunk on everybody. But of course, like that's just such wasted talent, man. They have such a good team, at least offensively, like receivers wise, and they just can't get it done, which sucks. But I'm a little pissed you don't have Thielen or Diggs. Like what's the deal? They're the greatest duo in the league. Are you going to say Evans and Godwin are better than them?
I think Evans and Godwin are better than Diggs, to be honest.
I think the stats show in your favor, I mean, I might be a little biased here, but Thielen got hurt, so yeah, I understand. Like that goes back to my thing. He got hurt. He's going to be out of game. Hopefully, he won't miss this week. But I mean, if there was any game to miss, then yeah, the Redskins were just going to be it. But God, I'm a little salty about that. I thought you were going to at least throw my boy Thielen in there.
If I was going to throw one in, it would definitely be Diggs, I think. I like him a little more than Thielen.
It's just this year. Last year, you liked Thielen more.
Yeah, because he was on my fantasy team. It's important.
You had Thielen last year?
Yeah, in one of the leagues, I'm sure.
He went
off for the first 8 weeks or whatever and then disappeared. That was a little disappointing.
Yeah, he had 100 yards every game for the first 8 weeks, and then I went to Week 9 when they played the Lions, and he only had like 30 yards. So the game I went to, of course, it ended his streak. But it's whatever. That just happens. I want to throw this out there before we get into our Week 9 matchups. Have you been seeing Antonio Clown, on Twitter today?
I saw that someone dressed up as him for Halloween. Is that what you're referring to?
Someone, as in everybody. He's quoted like 10 people, like random people's tweets of them dressing up as him, and he just says like random things here and there, like "Go get candy," "Go trick or treating," or like "You're doing this wrong," or just little critiques. Like that just shows how weak-minded he is. He's just letting these people get to him, but it's like he's got nothing better to do.
I'm on his Twitter right now. He tweeted a video 2 hours ago of the one touchdown he called while he was on the Patriots.
Saw that.
And he said, "You missed me," with a crying face. And then retweeted a couple of the replies that say, "I miss you," and "You're the best, AB."
Of course.
So it sounds like he's just getting kind of his validation
from random Twitter people.
Yeah, random Twitter followers. So
I don't get it though. They're 8-0. They don't need him.
Right? Yeah.
If they lost like 3 games straight, then he could tweet something like that. Like if they lost every game since he left, go for it. But they obviously do not need you.
Yeah, he's definitely a strange guy. I'd love to understand what goes on through his brain.
Yeah, or be his agent. I don't know how his agent does it and like keeps it going. I have no idea how he does it. And I had him on my bench for a while just in case, but I have zero faith that he's on a team this year.
Yeah, I think he's done, at least for this year.
Yeah, he'll for sure get on a team next year. I bet it goes all the way to the 9th hour to where, or is the saying the 10th hour? It's the 10th hour?
I'm not sure.
What's the saying? I don't know. Anyway, I think it's going to come down to the last minute where someone's going to have to draft him even though he's not on a team, but there's going to be speculations that he's going to sign, and it's just going to be a risky pick. And that's just not what I'm about. I don't take risky picks in fantasy.
I might take a stab if he's hanging around in the 6th or the 7th.
But think of it like that. The people who draft defenses and kickers before the last 2 rounds really scare me. There's no point.
Yeah.
There's no point. And go week to week with both of them. You don't need to go crazy on your defense and your kickers. There's no point.
I agree.
Like someone took the Bears defense in like the 9th round. I was like, I haven't even drafted my quarterback yet. Are you kidding me? And you're drafting defenses?
In one of my leagues, the Patriots defense just went as a stab in the dark in the last round, and now they're like the most valuable thing in fantasy football. So
they're like the 3rd best fantasy player, some crazy shit.
Yeah, you just never know what's going to happen with defenses, which is why I stay away until late and then cross my fingers.
I low-key would trade for them, though, if I had the chance. If I wanted to bad enough.
What would you give up?
I don't know.
Realistically, that's tough.
On my team right now, my super team, like I couldn't give up Aaron Jones. Like my guys I'm trying to give up right now, like my only starter I'd give up right now is Aaron Jones, and I would only give him up for another solid running back and then another good asset. So like if I was to trade for the Patriots defense, I would want the Patriots defense plus a solid running back. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think that's fair.
Like I think Corey has the defense, Patriots defense, and he's got like James White or Kamara. Like you could bet I would trade Aaron Jones, and I'll throw him somebody else for Kamara and the Patriots defense because Kamara's been hurt. So
you hear that, B-Led?
I've already tried getting Kamara off him. He didn't like it. You know, you got to throw some stupid trades out there here and there. You got to shoot for the skies. You know, and get shot down. You go from there. That's all you got to do.
True.
But all right, let's get into our Week 9 NFL matchups. This will be the last thing we do for this podcast. It's been a great podcast so far. So, do you have your picks ready? Are you ready to fire them back?
Ready, written out, and I'm ready, locked in, ready to go.
All right. Well, without looking at the score right now, last we heard was 7-0. But I'm still picking the 49ers here on Thursday Night Football over the Cardinals, even though it's in Arizona.
Yeah, me too. Their defense is too good.
Nick Bosa.
Yeah.
Him and his brother won the NFC Defensive Players of the Week or AFC and NFC Defensive Players of the Week.
Yeah, that is one talented family for sure. Those guys are studs.
Yeah,
but yeah,
for sure.
That Niners defense is too good. Hopefully Tevin Coleman racks up some rushing yards for me. I got him at flex in 2 of my leagues, so I need some production there, but I think the Niners are going to win that. They should win that game pretty easy.
He had 4 total touchdowns last game against the Panthers, but he only had 33 fantasy points? I feel like that's not a lot for 4 touchdowns.
I think it was 38, yeah.
38? That's decent.
Yeah, I think he only had 10 rushing attempts because they blew him out, but he had 90 yards, so and chip in a couple catches. And
goal line. They were goal line touchdowns, yeah.
Yeah, take the foot off the gas once they're up 30, so... he looks pretty good in that Niners offense.
Yeah, I thought when he went there, he was going to be good. They should just feature him. I don't know why they split carries. They could probably get good draft picks if they traded one of those. Raheem Mostert, probably you couldn't get shit for him, but Breida could be a starting running back anywhere else. So I mean, I'd trade him away, keep Mostert for my number 2, and just feature Tevin Coleman as my 3 down back.
I agree.
I think he's good enough to do that. I thought he was good enough to do that in Atlanta. I thought he was better than Devonta Freeman down the stretch because Devonta Freeman's getting old now and he's not as good. So running backs have a short window.
With Ito Smith.
Oh yeah, they got Ito Smith. God, that's such an L. The Falcons are the biggest disappointment in the NFL. They're always projected to do good and then they just suck. They just suck. Ever since their Super Bowl, they sucked.
I know, and their offense looks so potent every year, and then every year they just don't quite get where they need to be.
Matty Ice, Julio, Mohamed Sanu at the time. Calvin Ridley, though, has been a diamond in the dust, I will say that. He's been good. He's been good on my bench.
You're only saying that because you're actively trying to trade him to me in fantasy.
Please take him off my team.
No, he's terrible.
He's not that bad. He's putting up like 12 points a week.
He's not good enough to roll on my squad, that's for damn sure.
On your 2-6 squad.
The best 2-6 team in the country.
I don't know how you lost 6 straight. That's crazy. But now, I mean, you're on a 2-game winning streak. Dex, ever since my trade with him, everyone roasted at him for. He's on a 3-game winning streak. Robbie Straub's on a 3-game winning streak. There's some people that were doing bad down the stretch that, and it's honestly confusing me. I thought Robbie's team looked bad. And, I mean, I play him, so hopefully this doesn't pop off for more than that. But who else? Kilgore and Garen Wood are both like 2-6 right now as well. But they had great teams. 3 weeks ago, they just couldn't catch a break and couldn't win any games.
Yeah, you might be lucky with Robbie Straub this week. James Conner is looking pretty questionable to play. So,
oh, he might not play at all?
Yeah, that might be a big boost for you if he doesn't play.
Yeah, I mean, I don't care who I play. I always get nervous. Like, doesn't matter how much projections I have. I'm always like, I could still put up like 12 points.
You never know.
Yeah, but we'll see. That's why I try and stack up my team, so I worry less and less. I think this is it, though. I don't think I'll make any more trades before November 22nd, I think is the deadline. We'll see. Unless someone wants to give me someone that's better than Aaron Jones right now, which I don't see anybody better than Aaron Jones that I don't already have. So we'll see. Except like Zeke. I'd probably take Zeke off your hands if you wanted.
No, I think he's locked and loaded in my lineup for the rest of the year.
All right, next game, Texans at Jags. This is my upset of the week. I'm going Minshew Mania here at home against a banged-up Texans defense. J.J. Watt out. Their secondary is looking questionable. Deshaun Watson's obviously amazing. I think it's going to be a shootout, but I think the Jags overall come and win. And I think that it's going to be the Minshew / Leonard Fournette / DJ Chark show, which has been all year.
I'm with you. I'm in the Jags, too. I think this game is on Sunday morning, right? Like 8:30, because it's in London.
7:30, yeah. Or 7:30 me, 8:30 you.
Yeah, 8:30 my time. Yeah, I got the Jags, too. That's what I had written down. No J.J. Watt. I watched the Texans play a few weeks ago because I streamed their defense, and it looks like shit even with J.J. So without him, they're fucked.
Yeah, they're way better. They're way less.
I'll sprinkle some Minshew magic, too. Maybe the Jags will figure out their red zone offense. Hopefully they've been practicing that all week because I need Fournette touchdowns really bad.
I like Minshew, and I like Fournette. Fournette has stayed healthy. He's had a little injury bug for his first couple years in the league, but now he's finally looking like a top 5 running back, like he should be. He's amazing. I think Minshew could be their guy, and it sucks because they just overpaid for Foles, and now they're kind of like stuck with him. And it's funny because it's like they're like Nick Foles just got Nick Fold, just like happened.
Yeah.
Carson Wentz got hurt, and then Nick Foles. I mean, I'm not saying Minshew's going to win the damn Super Bowl, but he's definitely winning games for the guys, So it's the mustache, man. I'm telling you, grow the stash out, Nick. Mustaches mean good at sports.
It's just a scientific fact at this point.
It is. Is that going to be your upset of the week, or is that just your upset?
No, that's just an upset.
Ooh, that's what I like to hear. Yeah, that's my upset of the week because Texans are. I mean, I think they're a top 10 team in the league. I've gotten some shit from my buddy Peyton, and he thinks the Texans are a better team than the Vikings. Who would you say? What say you?
No, I think I'd take the Vikings too.
Thank you. Suck it, Peyton.
The defense is just a lot better, I think, for the Vikings than it is for the Texans.
And our overall roster is stacked at every position. So, especially defensively, we're A+ at every position defensively, which is hard to do. And I'll get more into that one in two picks here. Next, Bears at Eagles. What say you?
I got the Eagles here. Not really that because I like the Eagles. I just think the Bears stink. Trubisky's really bad.
Damn,
one
dude.
of the guys I live with he's from Iowa, but he's a huge Bears fan. So we watch a fair bit of Bears football here, and man, offensively they just look very lackluster. Obviously their defense is really good, but Akeem Hicks is still out, so that takes away a bit of QB pressure. And I wouldn't be surprised if the Eagles. I think they're 500 right now, 4-4, but I wouldn't be surprised if they go on a bit of a run here and make a playoff push.
Well, make sure you tell your friend that I said double doink. That's all I got to say. But make sure you don't tell him that I'm a Vikings fan because he'll instantly just refer to Blair Walsh, and I will lose that argument big time. So, yeah. Just tell him I'm a Patriots fan or something. I don't know. Can't argue a Patriots fan. Anyway, yeah, I'm going the Eagles here as well. I think the Bears are a dumpster fire, even though I don't know why they beat us every time. Ever since Trubisky's drafted, they played, they always beat us, and it just pisses me off. I hate the Bears, and I don't think the next game they play us is in Minnesota. I don't think our only 2 losses are divisional, so it really screws us. But our next 3 divisional games are at home, so that's all that matters. But yeah, I'm going Eagles here. I think that they're going to keep the momentum off their last win, and the Bears' defense is good. I think it'll be a low-scoring game, in my opinion, but the Eagles are going to pull away towards the end, for sure. So far, we've picked everybody the same, so we need to start getting some different picks here, and I'm hoping this next one isn't different. I hope we agree on this one. Vikings at Chiefs. This is my potential game of the week if Patrick Mahomes plays. If he doesn't play, it's not a game of the week. I think I really, really want Patrick Mahomes to play because it'll give us a lot of credit, and I want to see the guy play. I want to see him healthy out there because he's good for the game. He's an amazing quarterback, amazing dude. But if I'm being selfish, I hope he stays hurt, and I hope the Vikings blow out the Chiefs, and it's just an easy win, and we can just keep on rolling the dubs. But that's 2 sides of the story there. I think the Vikings offense is clicking in every category. The Chiefs offense is also explosive. It'll be a good test for the Vikings defense. Chiefs defense isn't that good, but they're sneaky good. They're 5th in sacks this year. So they get to the quarterback, and that's really all that matters. If you can get away with having a questionable secondary if you get to the quarterback. So I think it'll be a good matchup, but I think the Vikings ultimately win 34-31.
I have the Vikings too.
Yes.
With an asterisk.
Oh no, not the asterisk.
If Mahomes doesn't play, I'm looking at my betting info right now. There's not even any betting info out right now for that game, which I assume is because Mahomes is questionable, because that's how much of an impact he can have on.
Well, yeah, of course.
The betting lines of this game. So I'm going to say the Vikings if he doesn't play, but if he plays, I think the Chiefs win in a shootout because he's
in Arrowhead.
He's a beast. He's unbelievable.
It'll definitely be a testament to our defense, and I think that'd be kind of cool. But Matt Moore, don't sleep on him. He's the real Matty Ice, and he looks good. He had 380 passing yards, I think, last game. He wasn't bad.
Yeah, he's a nice feeling, but he's certainly no Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah, I mean, it's easy to look pretty good if you got Kelsey, Tyreek Hill. Those are just some good people there. Next game, Colts at Steelers. I'm going Colts here. I think Jacoby Brissett stays hot. He's looked good all year. I think they're clearly the best team in the AFC in their division. I'm not high on the Texans winning that division. I think Jacoby Brissett and the Colts are a sneaky good team. Great defense, great offensive line, good weapons offensively with Marlon Mack and crap. What's his name? I almost said Tyreek Hill. Why can't I think of him?
T.Y.
T.Y. Hilton. Yep, it's a T. So yeah, I'm going Colts here. What say you?
I have the Steelers.
Ooh,
Um,
upset of the week?
no,
Just another upset?
they're only a 1-point underdog, so I mean it's not. That's basically a pick 'em.
That's crazy though. The
think-
Steelers are bad this year.
Yeah, they're only. The Colts are only favored by 1 point, so I mean it's probably a bit closer than you think. But I think the Steelers needed that Miami game to get the offense clicking a little bit. I mean, obviously it was the Dolphins, but Rudolph was actually airing the ball out a little bit.
Yeah, he looked good.
Using his best offensive player, Juju Smith-Schuster. The defense looked way better since the Minka Fitzpatrick trade. TJ Watt is a stud.
Yeah, he is.
Putting pressure on the quarterback, and the secondary looks so much better with Minka Fitzpatrick back there. So I think the Steelers pull this one out.
You think that it's so sad to see Juju projected 12 points, but yeah, it's sad to see him projected 12 points in fantasy.
I know, and I drafted him in the second round of one of my leagues, expecting this.
Oh my God,
huge-
Nick, I'm sorry to cut you off. Do you hear? I have trick-or-treaters at my door right now. They're literally knocking on my door.
Should I answer and ask him who they think is going to win, the Colts or the Steelers?
Should I really do that? I don't have any candy to give him.
Oh no, then you better not open the door.
I can give him a can of beans.
They might ransack you if you don't have any candy.
I don't have any candy, but who do you think is going to win the Vikings game?
Yeah, I think they would appreciate that.
They'd be like, shut the hell up, old man. Give us a candy. It scared the shit out of me. I heard a bang on my door. I'm like, who the hell is banging on my door right now? They can probably hear me talking, too. The walls are thin. I'm sorry to cut you off. That just threw me off. We were talking about Juju. It's sad to see him only projected 12 points. I'm hoping that was the turning point for him, though.
I know, me too. Yeah, because I got him in the league in the second round, and I thought it was a steal.
Oh, second round.
Yeah, second round. So thinking that, obviously Big Ben was going to be the quarterback, and the Steelers were going to be a high-flying offense. So I'm hoping the Miami game was a sign of better things to come, for sure.
I mean, I predicted the Ravens to win the division, so I didn't think the Steelers were going to be all that good this year anyway, but I certainly thought Juju would be easily a top 5, top 10 fantasy receiver.
Yeah.
Just with the sure targets that he would be getting. But all right, next. So you have the Steelers there. That's the first one we disagreed on there. Finally, this is the shit bowl. Jets at Dolphins. I've been on record saying the Dolphins are not going to win a game all year, and I'm going to stick with that. So the Dolphins are not winning this game. Sam Darnold's going to have a career game and just going to blow them out. I think Robbie Anderson has 3 touchdowns.
Yeah, I got the Jets too. I don't really know what to say about this game. Like the Dolphins,
They're just both terrible teams.
Yeah, the Jets probably need this more than anybody. So.
I'm not going to watch it. That's simple as that.
And yeah, the more I think about Robbie Anderson and how he might just have 3 90-yard touchdowns, the more I think about throwing him in my fantasy lineup. So we'll see what happens on Sunday.
He was on Matthew Berry's trade for list, which was crazy.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, so I mean, I'm not going to go out there and trade for him, but that's just me. Next game is also kind of a shit bowl, even though one of the teams has been doing decent. Redskins at Buffalo. I still don't take Buffalo as a series contender, so I still consider this another shit bowl. I'm going with the Bills though because the Redskins are terrible. I don't think Keenum's going to play, and I think he's their best option at quarterback. I think what's his name, the rookie
Dwayne Haskins.
Dwayne Haskins. I think he looks not ready. He's been put in a bad position.
Yeah, I agree, but I watch a lot of Big Ten football because it is the best football conference in the country. And Dwayne Haskins was just unbelievable at Ohio State last year, like just standing in the pocket and just throwing touchdowns. So to see him make the steps to the next level and be pretty brutal is a little unexpected because he certainly looked NFL ready last year at Ohio State.
Yeah, he threw like 50 touchdowns.
I got the Bills in this game too. I also don't think they're the real deal, but they should definitely beat the Redskins this week.
Should I start Josh Allen at quarterback this week, though? And I'm starting him in our league, and that's still questionable. It's the projection thing, man. He's projected 19 points, so I'm like, I want to throw him out there, but it's like, who is he throwing the ball to? So I don't know.
I think you got to start him just because he has the rushing abilities too.
Yeah,
he could go for 80 rushing yards and a touchdown. So yeah, I think you got to start him.
Yeah, or in my other league, it's either him or Minshew. So Minshew's playing the Texans.
That's interesting.
So Minshew's only projected 17, and Josh Allen is projected 19. So it's like, I think I'm going to end up throwing Minshew in there last second, but I don't know. It's hard. It's the projection thing like we were talking about. It's just hard to do.
It's all about the projections.
All about it. Titans at Panthers. Panthers coming off that devastating loss to the 49ers, getting blown out last week after Kyle Allen won 4 straight. And I went on record last week, I said, if the Panthers beat the 49ers, then that would be the end of the Cam Newton era in Carolina. But obviously they didn't, so I think the window's still open there.
Yeah, I got the Panthers bouncing back this week. I don't take the Titans seriously as a football team or an organization.
They're too spotty.
I hate Ryan Tannehill. I don't think he's good at all. I think Derrick Henry's overrated. The Panthers obviously have the best player in the field in Christian McCaffrey, so I think they'll win that game. Yeah,
CMC is a MVP candidate for sure, and I'm gonna keep saying it. Dalvin Cook for MVP. I think he should at least be in the discussions. Quit disrespecting the man. He's leading the league in touchdowns, rushing yards. I think Christian McCaffrey has more scrimmage yards, but that's just because he's their only offensive weapon. So sorry that Dalvin has to compete with like 4 other dudes. That's just my opinion. But yeah, I'm going Panthers here too. I think they bounce back. I think the Titans are too spotty. I think Tannehill is a better starting option than Marcus Mariota. I think he throws the ball better. He's more accurate, has a little bit more power behind it. Can't run it as well as Mariota, but he's not a scrub either. He can run. So yeah, I think that's a good start. I was waiting for that. I said this like week 2 that they should play him because it's over for Mariota. I think it's over for Winston too. Winston puts up numbers, but he's not winning games. So both of those guys, the number 1, number 2 draft pick from 4 or 5 years ago, just huge busts in my opinion. Huge busts. They're not worth it. And I'm glad that neither of them signed a huge contract because they know that they suck. So that's good. So it's not like their teams got screwed. They just got screwed out of years. And not even Bruce Arians can fix Winston. I think he looks better at times, Winston. Like, I would stick with Winston over Mariota right now. Like, if I had to keep playing somebody, it's obviously Winston because, at least when he loses, he throws for 400 yards. With 4 touchdowns. But he'll also have, 5 interceptions. That's his only thing. Just what throws way too many picks. So we both agree on that one. Next game, Lions at Raiders. I'm going with the Lions here. They're, like we were talking about earlier, they're super good offensively. I think the Raiders have a suspect defense. Raiders' offense is, Derek Carr is looking good. He's looking healthy. He's looking confident back there, throwing it to Darren Waller, which I will go on record right now to you, Nick Boys, and apologize for saying that he was trash. And that was only because I was trying to trade you Mark Andrews at the time, which Mark Andrews is no scrub, but Darren Waller is unbelievable.
Yeah, I got Darren Waller locked in as potentially the number 1 fantasy tight end for the rest of the year. He's already had his bye. He looks pretty much matchup proof. He's a huge target for Derek Carr. Man, he's a beast. He's been in the league for 3 or 4 years, I think, and now he's kind of having his coming out party here in 2019.
I think he is the number 1 rated tight end right now in fantasy by a long shot, and then it's Kelsey. But yeah, I have Waller in one of my other leagues, and I picked him up after the Vikings game because I obviously watched that game, and I was like, who is this Darren Waller guy? He just gets hella catches. And then he gets a garbage time touchdown at the end. I'm like, this is a good fantasy tight end. Everyone should have this guy in their lineup. So that seems to be the trend in the last few years. There's just one sneaky tight end that just George Kittle. He's the George Kittle of this year. So now there's 2 because Mark Andrews is breaking out. So it's Mark Andrews and Darren Waller. They're the two breakout tight ends for this year that people will probably draft super high next year and then be disappointed with when they don't produce. This is what's going to happen.
Yeah, that's usually how it goes.
So you're going Raiders here?
No, I have the Lions too.
Damn it, Nick.
Because Stafford's better than Derek Carr. I think there's going to be a shootout, so I got the over in this game too.
Yeah, I'm hoping it's a shootout. That'd be nice.
Over 50.5. Put your house on that. I think it's going to be a shootout.
Over 50 total, or both have over 50 points?
Yeah, combined in the game, over 50.5 points.
Wow. Okay. That's
27-24 gets it done.
I feel like that's not a shootout, though. Shootouts are like 35, like in the 30-40 range, in my opinion.
Yeah, that's also over 50.5, so you win your bet.
Oh, okay. Yeah, sorry. I'm bad with this stuff. We were just talking about him. Jameis Winston and the Bucks take it to Seattle and play Russell Wilson, who's having an MVP caliber season. He's the number one quarterback in the league right now, in my opinion. 12, I think. Well, no, he's got way more than 12 touchdowns now, but I don't think he's thrown a pick yet this year. I think he's thrown one, and it was against was it the 49ers or someone? I don't forget who they played. It was a good defense though, so it
was against the Ravens, I think.
Yeah, it was
Marcus Peters.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Marcus Peters took it to the house. Yep. I remember that. But, yeah, I'm going Seahawks here, especially at home, the 12th man. It's an easy pick. I think this is potentially a trap game for them. I think the Bucks could sneaky, play good. I didn't want to start Jameis in fantasy just because I still think the Seahawks are the Legion of Boom, even though they're clearly not. They're not the greatest defense like they were a few years back. But it's hard to count out Russell Wilson.
Yeah, I got Russ and the Seahawks in this one, too. I was almost going to pick the Bucs.
It's an easy trap game.
I felt uneasy about this one. I was looking at my little app where I pick the scores, and Russ's TD to pick ratio is 17-1, and Jameis's is 14-12. So that's solidified it for me. I'd take the Seahawks.
Yeah, clearly the better quarterback is going to win this game. So Russell Wilson and the Seahawks for sure. Next game, another potential trap game. Green Bay Packers head over to LA Chargers, which isn't really an away game for them because are there really any LA Charger fans out there? No, not really. So this is an easy pick for me. I'm going Aaron Rodgers and the Packers here. I hate picking them to win, but I'm trying to have some credibility here. I think Aaron Rodgers is too good. He's also could argue he's having an MVP caliber season. And Phillip Rivers is just dumpster fire right now. He's not good. There's nothing going good for the Chargers right now. They beat the Bears last week because the Bears missed a game-winning field goal. So I'm just not sure what to call the Chargers. I don't know what they're great at. They don't have they have the players, but they're not performing. I have Keenan Allen in one of my leagues, and I'm trying everything I can to get rid of him, and nobody wants him.
Yeah, they're struggling right now for sure.
But they can turn it at any moment. Like they beat the Packers this week. Right. It's like, Chargers are back. They're going to go on a winning streak. It's just them. They're streaky.
They could, but this is my lock of the week is the Packers. Lock of the week, I think. Yeah, Rodgers is too good. I think the Green Bay defense is actually sneaky good too.
Yep.
And they could give the Chargers offense that's obviously struggling, give them some troubles. Lock in the Pack -4 as well. I think they'll win by at least a touchdown. They're hot right now, and Rodgers looks like he's hitting his stride, especially if Devontae Adams is back this week.
Yeah, Green Bay, people give them too much credit with their defense. Their defense isn't that good if you look at the numbers. They're giving up a lot of yards a game. So their defense is not as good as it was the first couple of weeks where people were saying they have like a legendary defense. Is their defense better than it has been in the last 5 years? Yes, because their defense was atrocious the last 5 years. It's really hard to be worse than that. So now, if you give Aaron any kind of defense, he's going to win you games, and that's why they have 7 wins or 7-1, 6-1. So yeah, they're doing pretty well. Next game, Cleveland Browns head over to Denver. I'm going with the Denver Broncos right here because I don't know if you'd call this an upset. You can say it's an upset because the Browns have a stacked roster, but the way they've been playing, I think they're at the same level as the Broncos right now. So I think it's an anybody win game, and I'm going with the home team here. So it's going to be cold. And, Baker might be a little chilly throwing the football, might throw some more interceptions, who cares? And I think Joe Flacco and the Denver Broncos with Philip Lindsay get it done.
I think the Browns win this game. So we finally disagree on a pick.
It's like their second one, yeah.
Flacco's out.
Flacco's out?
Yes, Flacco's out. He ripped the coaches in the media and then had a mysterious neck injury, so he's out 6 weeks, I think.
Damn.
After ripping the coaches in the media about their play calling. So Brandon Allen is under center for the Broncos, which makes me very Brandon Allen.
Who the hell is that?
Exactly. That makes me very uneasy. I'll take the Browns and hope this game gets them back on track and gets Odell fired up and Baker back on the right track, because the Browns need to figure it out.
Yeah, they do. I hope the Browns blow out the Broncos and Odell Beckham has like 3 fantasy points, but he's healthy and plays every snap.
He's on the bench right now, so we'll see.
I mean, you benched him last week and you won, so might as well keep going. Why not?
Right.
I think Von Miller should have been traded at the deadline. That's what should have happened, because he deserves to be on a good football team, and they're not good. I didn't know about Joe Flacco, but I'm going to stick with my pick. Broncos in an upset. This is even a bigger upset now. This could potentially be the upset of the week, but I already picked my upset of the week is the Jags and Texans. So, but I'm going Broncos-Browns. I'm going with the Broncos here. I'm staying with it. I think Baker Mayfield is struggling this year big time, and he just looks worse and worse when he just rips media people and whatnot. You're just asking for it. You're just asking to get on Colin Cowherd this year if you just do that. So that's been the best beef this year, has been Colin Cowherd and Baker Mayfield, in my opinion. I don't know if you've been paying attention to it.
Yeah, I saw his video with the media. I think it was yesterday, wasn't it?
Yeah, he stormed off.
Stormed off, and he was
I mean, the guy did ask a stupid question, but it's the media. They're going to ask stupid questions.
Right, yeah, they're just doing their job, so.
I mean, yeah, that's going to be you, man. Maybe you could be one of those reporters that gets yelled at by Baker Mayfield and runs off.
Hopefully, that'd be sweet. I'd love to get yelled at by Baker Mayfield.
I can see you doing that. Just be like, hey, I'm going to try and get yelled at today. Like, I think the guy asked the question, what did he say? He's like, do you wish you could have that one back or something like that? Or do you wish you could have pulled out the win or something like that? He's like, yeah, I want to win. What do you mean?
Were you happy with that drive? And he was like, well, we didn't score any points, so of course I wasn't happy with that.
Oh, man, that's so funny. But then they go immediately to the golden boy, Deshaun Watson. They're like, oh, this reporter asked a dumb question about coverages, and he sits there for 5 minutes and explains them everything about cover 2 you could ever want to know. And immediately everyone's like, oh, look how nice of a guy Deshaun Watson is. Like,
yeah, that was kind of a dick move by Deshaun, just showing off like that.
Just showing how big brain he is after getting... Oh, did you see his eye, though, when he got hit? That was crazy.
Yeah, that was bad.
But, yeah, even there was a video of Derek Carr that saw him. I mean, he was like, oh, it's like leaking fluids right now, dude. You should go get that checked out. So, I don't think he's questionable, though. I'm literally trying to trade from him in my other league, so... He's the number one fantasy quarterback right now. Did you know that?
Deshaun Watson is?
Yeah. He's averaging 27 points. I thought it was Russell Wilson. I think Russell's like 2 or 3. It changes every week, especially with quarterbacks. Next game is my game of the week. Patriots at Ravens. Finally, the Patriots are going to play someone decent at football. So, of course, when they play shitty opponents, they're the best defense in the league. Tom Brady still looks good. Oh, look at Julian Edelman. But when the Vikings play the Redskins, the Giants, the Philadelphia Eagles, the Lions, we don't get any credit. They're like, oh, they're playing bad defenses. We're not giving Kirk Cousins any credit. Who, by the way, Kirk Cousins was NFC Player of the Month this week. Good job, Kirk. Captain Kirk, if you're listening. But yeah, I'm going Patriots here, though. I've learned not to bet on the Patriots, so it's going to be really hard for me not to pick them. This could have easily been my upset of the week, but I think Brady's the Patriots, man. I can't bet against them.
This is my upset of the week.
There we go.
Yeah, the Baltimore Ravens. I just think it's so hard to just win this many games in a row in the NFL, and I think the Patriots are due for a stinker. So I hope it's this week against the Ravens. Their offensive line and their blocking is pretty shitty, which I think is part of the reason why Sony Michel hasn't been that good this year running the football. So I think if Ravens can get some shut down the run game, actually get some pressure on Tom, they can actually create some problems. And obviously the Patriots defense is really good, but just the duel of Lamar can make things real tough. So I think the Ravens upset him in a close one.
Yeah, this will be a good test for the Patriots defense. We'll see. We'll just see just how elite they are in this game. I'm going to go out on a limb and say they're not going to score 20 fantasy points this week, which is a weird stat to say about a defense that we actually have to discuss that. They're not going to score 20 points this week, which is unbelievable that they're even getting that. They just take away machines. I think I saw some stats. They have more touchdowns than like Julio, Odell Beckham, Diggs, like all these big time guys in the NFL, which is crazy as a defensive unit. So that's good. Finally, you picked your upset of the week. Last game, Cowboys at Giants. Who gives a shit? I mean, it's a divisional game, so it's big. I'm hoping the Giants can pull this one out, but if I had to put my money on it, I'm going with the Dallas Cowboys. They're too good up front. They're too good at every position, way better at every position than the Giants are. I do like Danny Dimes. I think he's going to be good for years to come. Just be a little patient, New York fans. But I think the Cowboys win convincingly.
Yeah, I got Dallas here too. I think Zeke's just going to go off on this pretty lackluster Giants defense. I think he's going to have a huge game.
I hope it's going to be the Zeke Saquon show for our fantasy team's sake.
Yeah, me too.
That's all I'm hoping for. But there's our games. Hopefully, I say this every week too. Hopefully I'll remember next week to go over my games and see if I'm right and see if I'm wrong. We agree. This time I won't even have to really mention you because we basically picked every game the same. Sorry that like minds think alike, right? Great minds think alike. Like minds think alike. Yeah, I mean, technically that's true as well. Yeah, great minds do think alike. That's why we never can figure out a trade in fantasy because we're too good to get screwed over by each other.
That is true.
Our first year we had that one blockbuster trade, and then I was like, we need to keep this up, and then we haven't had a trade since. It just happened. We just have to trade bench players at this point.
We're always trying to finesse each other. There's no fairness going on.
Like I said, there's an art to trade raping. You just got to get good at it.
True. I agree.
And at this point, and it's not that they're bad fantasy players. You just got to exploit them for when they're at their weakest. It's just what happens. And that's just fantasy, folks. But it's fantasy, and anybody can win. That's why I like fantasy football. Anybody can win in any week. I lost to Dex after he traded away his best player, even though Saquon wasn't playing, but still, it's just what happens.
A win's a win.
A win is a win. But hey, Nick, boys, thanks for coming on, man. This has been a great podcast. Probably a longer one than I usually do. I hope people stick around and listen. If you want to it's going to be on YouTube, so if you can just double tap and it'll skip every 15 seconds. I'm sure you guys can do that. It's fun. Just skip ahead to the good parts.
Yeah, thanks for having me on, man. It's been a lot of fun.
Yeah, we'll have to get you back on here too. What are your plans for the rest of the night? Just hang out?
Yeah, hang out, probably catch the second half of this game, do a little homework, and eat some Halloween candy.
Yeah, I don't miss homework. Hopefully I get some more trick-or-treaters. I feel bad for dissing them there. Because I literally heard, I think I'm gonna go back and listen to the audio. I literally heard somebody say, I can hear him talking in there. It's thin walls, man, so I'm sure everybody can hear what I'm talking about in here. But yeah, sorry, no kids get candy from me. I'm a Scrooge. I should just scare all the kids. That should just be my thing.
Just put a sign on the door. No trick-or-treaters.
Yeah, no trick-or-treaters or else. Just let them imagine. Doing podcasts, shut up. Don't knock on my door. If I saw that, I'd bang on the door. That's just how shitty of a kid I was.
Me too.
That's just how it goes. But all right, man, thank you for coming on. And we got to talk more often, man. We can't leave it for a podcast to keep talking.
I agree. Of course, brother. We'll speak soon.
Okay, sounds good. I'll see you in Australia.
Yep. See you then.
See you, buddy.
Peace.
And that was Nick Boys. Man, I love having him on. Like I have him on every week. I don't have him on every week, but such a great guy. Great Australian. Nothing better than that guy. And just realized we forgot to talk about one of the most important things I wanted to talk to him about was my roommate that I had this past summer who was quote-unquote Australian. He was not. I don't think he was. If he was the weirdest. Nick knew about him when I talked about him. That'll be a whole separate episode. I want you guys to tune in. Maybe next week, maybe the week after. It'll be the most legendary episode ever. I'm going to get into that because it's some really interesting stories. But, yeah, I'm going to go catch the second half of this game as well, too. Thank you guys for listening. This has been the FIO Podcast. I am your host, Mason Kleist. So, yeah, please tune in next week. Going to have another good guest on. Going to be another great show. So, yeah, figure it out, guys. See y'all next week.